bringing the fun. We're bringing the thunder. We are Funder. Flesh and blood down under. Woo! Here we go. We are live. Thank you. Hemal.
Yes.
Hammurabi Bazaar in the house.
Hammurabi Bazaar, yes.
Came from Texas. Houston,
All the way
Texas.
from Texas. 100% humidity to this place.
It's beautiful
fantastic.
here.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, the weather's great for playing cards because if it was hot,
Oh, yeah.
it sucks. But cold, like you wear a jumper and you're fine.
It's fantastic for card games and tents.
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we are about to do a first on the Funder podcast. It's never been done before. Ooh. Arguably, I'd say John, Fluke and Box, probably opens more packs in Australia than anyone else. But we have someone in the room right now that blows Fluke out of the water. This man, Hemal, has probably opened more packs of Flesh and Blood than maybe anyone in the world.
Probably.
Probably. So I want to see you in action, sir. We have quite a rare pack, according to Hemal.
Oh, yeah.
Monarch Unlim is hard to come by.
It's hard to come by.
It's hard to come by here.
Yeah, especially that one. So that one specifically is the Japanese print. So the Japanese print
How can you even tell just by looking at
So
it?
the plastic is different. And you can
It
feel
is.
it when you open up the cards.
Okay.
They'll feel like the WTR ones.
And the collation is different.
The collation's different. The card stock's different. And on top of that, the print run is very small compared to like that. So when Monarch Unlimited first came out, it was right after the whole big boom bust thing.
Belgian print.
Oh yeah, Belgian print, and they ran out at some point, and they ordered more or whatever, and we got a really really small wave of these Japanese ones, and they only went up north here in America. We didn't get them in the south, so that itself is very rare.
Well, there you go.
Ooh.
Open it up.
Well, if you wanted
Walk
it,
us
there's
through
a
it.
ton of it in Australia.
Oh yeah.
And New Zealand.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
look at those hands, team. Look at it go. Just so smooth. The dexterity.
Oh,
Look,
yeah.
He's done this before.
He's done this millions of times.
Let's see if we get anything spicy. So you gotta. Should I do it this way? Or?
What's the
Just go
orientation?
straight to the spice.
So it's gonna be a foil engulfing light.
Yes, Bolton
Yeah.
staple.
Bulk staple.
Man,
But-
Bolton stocks are about to go up. I think Monarch
that card
stocks
stock.
will go up. It's different.
It's different.
Yeah, okay. It's very
It feels like
smooth, plasticky kind of
Yeah, it feels like history pack.
withering beast Hulk.
Yeah.
We
You
get
don't
a
see
lot
a
of-
lot of that card.
We get a lot of Japanese print in Australia.
Do you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, it makes
Thank
sense
you.
because
All our WTR now is all red tape
I
on
mean,
the box.
we
and
must-
Crew obviously was all Japanese.
it's all Japanese. It's
Yeah.
that like orange seal.
Yeah.
But it's hard to come by here because we mostly got the Belgium and stuff like that. But as you can tell, I open a lot of Flesh and Blood that I know so much about.
Someone posted a little survey on Twitter going, how much are you going to spend on Dynasty? It was like $50,
Yeah.
$100, $300 or more. So I go, more, $9,000, 20 cases. This guy makes me look like a brokey straight up. He just, what did you
Isn't
go?
that how much you open a
He
week?
goes, 25 cases. Sorry, 25,000. Yeah, I'm like, thanks, man.
125 cases, 25,000. And he goes, beast.
Yeah. But I want to go to the beginning of that. You are a lawyer.
Yeah, no, I'm almost there. So right now,
You're studying still?
I'm studying still.
Yes.
in my last year, getting ready to take the last exam. So in America, it's called the bar. Once you take the bar, you become certified and you become a lawyer that you can practice. So basically, I do lawyer's work now, but not on a lawyer's pay. But I do this on the side. I love card games. I love Flesh and Blood. I jumped into it after going in and out through different card games, and I fell in love, and now I'm here doing this.
What was it specifically about Fab that drew your attention over other games?
So it's attrition. So the weird way. So weirdly enough, I saw this like listening to y'all's podcast, listening to other players. I've noticed a lot of Flesh and Blood players come from Yu-Gi-Oh. Like a lot of Flesh and Blood players.
Nick Butcher's from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Nick
James
Butcher
White is from Yu-Gi-Oh.
James White's from Yu-Gi-Oh. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was his store, but there used to be a New Zealand-based Yu-Gi-Oh like singles website.
That was him.
YGO Singles.
That was him.
Yeah. So I bought stuff
That's
off him.
Slingshot Underground.
Yeah.
Slingshot Underground is the mail out they sent when they shut down YGO Singles. They sent it to their mailing list going, if you go to this link and support us,
Yeah.
we'll send you something cool. Everyone that
That's
did
what
got
Slingshot.
Slingshot. See, I wasn't, I had no idea, but that's the only people that have Slingshot for OGs were YGO customers.
Damn.
Yu-Gi-Oh fanboys, girls.
Yeah, they ran I think James was distributing Yu-Gi-Oh! And him
he's-
and
he
maybe
did-
Chris Gearing, but there were a bunch of the LSS.
Yeah. So he used to do kind of what I used to do. He used to run a singles website where he would just sell like singles, and I guess the cost to get him here was cheaper, or whatever. But he used to blow America out of the water. Plus, in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's different printings like we have here in Flesh and Blood, but they're like physically different. So in the sense that there's American print, the colors are more muted. Then you go to European print, which is the same as like Asian Pacific, like the APAC ones and stuff like that, where it's darker.
Yep.
The text is darker. The colors are much more darker and more vibrant. So a lot of people prefer those, especially since they're in English also. So they would go to his website and he would just post everything at like 70% of what they would sell here in America. And people would just like buy tons and tons and tons. They didn't care if it took 2 weeks. They're like, I'm saving the money anyway, free shipping. If you buy this much, might as well. But so I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I got into that when I was a kid, and I did Magic as well. And as both of those like went onwards, they got worse and worse and worse. And they got power crept in a way where like even if you like tried to like play the game in an attrition sort of way, you kind of think like if you think about Magic, think about like Jund, or like in Yu-Gi-Oh, like everyone watched the TV show kind of when they were little. It's like, I'm gonna set my trap card face down.
Sorry, I never got into it. Never.
It's all good. But I got into it because I went to a Blockbuster. I don't know if y'all have those in Australia.
At one point, yeah, we had them.
Or you used to rent your VHS.
There's one left, because
I mean, it's like an ancient relic because like I tried explaining a VHS to someone yesterday and they just looked at me like I was from Mars. I'm like, no, dude, it's the future. But so I got into it that way, and Yu-Gi-Oh used to be more like attrition based. Like I'm going to set my trap card, I'm going to attack, I'm going to play this. So as time went on in both games, it became more combo. Became more like who has it, who opens it better. It's not more like I'm going to outplay you, but it's more like I'm going to open you. I'm going to have better cards. I'm going to get more lucky. And that drove me away from both games. And then I walked into my local LGS, shout out to Heroes Collectibles in Houston, Texas. And it's my longtime friend for like 10 years. He's a store manager over there. He's like, hey, man, we got this new card game. It's called Flesh and Blood. I'm like, sounds weird. And he looks at me and he goes, hey, man, the cards look really nice. And he the first set we had over there was Crucible of War. So this is like August of 2020. And he's like, hey, just open it. I'm looking at like all these websites and like overseas, and these cards are worth a lot of money. And like, that's like the first thing they try to rope you in on. Right? Like when you see a new game, they're like, hey, man, money. And they like try to get you like, oh, just come. And I mean, I'm sure that's why in the beginning, a lot of people got into Flesh and Blood because of that. But so he told me to open it up. I opened it up, and I opened up my very first cold foil, my first pack. It's one of the most powerful cards in the entire game of Flesh and Blood. Guess.
Cold foil.
It's from Crucible War. It's a rare.
Sabers?
No. Aether Conduit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Go on.
The most
Tell
powerful
me more.
card. Yeah. It's so
never
powerful.
been played. It's never seen play.
Yeah. All copies of that card are pristine because no one's ever touched one. But I opened it.
But that was still a very expensive card in August 2020.
No, it wasn't.
Sorry, but like it got value eventually.
It got value eventually, and I think like this is the market Hemal talking because when I started the game in August, all the cards were very cheap.
Right.
And that's when I got in, and I was like, I just want to play it. I want to have a set so I can play every single class, whatever it was. At the time, there was only 8.
Yep.
So I went in and I bought them. At that time, the cold foil commons were $8 Canadian. There was not that many American sites that sold them. There was only one, Fab Foundry. And Travis was, he's a good friend, and he's doing his thing and selling a lot of the singles. And there was another store called Fable Hobby up in Oregon. And he's run by Trevor. And they were all the only 2 stores in America that sold them. Other than that, there was Sam Smith in New Zealand, and then there was a Canadian store that sold them. So the commons were like super cheap. The legendaries were like $200, $250, which is like, for a new game, it's crazy. It's like, those are like Magic dual land prices. So I got them all together, started collecting them and stuff like that. And then, you know what happened. Everyone does at this point in the Flesh and Blood community. Everything got crazy. Everything went up, and then Monarch and this and that. But
I think we're at a better place now. You can actually, it's a real market.
100%.
Like Hearts selling for 50,000 allegedly never made sense.
No.
Because like it's very hard to give it that value. Even people that say like they're vintage packs, like it's 3 years old, man. It's very. I'd prefer to be here than when I started collecting. I think I cracked a Xi'an in my first ever crew pack.
Yeah.
And I went and checked, and like it was selling for 12,000, like
Yeah, it's ridiculous amounts of money.
which is it's stupid.
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
Like
but
it's great when you open it, but it's like also stops new players getting in because they're like, wait, I want to play that hero, and at $12,000, I'll play Yu-Gi-Oh. You know what I mean?
They'll just shift over to something else.
I'm curious about money. Like I want to talk about actual figures. So you open a lot. I think we've had a brief chat a couple of times.
Oh yeah.
How many cases a week? You told me this.
Because
Roughly,
you say you sit in front of the TV and you're like opening and sorting.
Yeah,
Like
I do roughly between 15 to 20 cases a week. Yeah, closer to 20.
and just you.
Just me, by myself.
20 cases a week.
Yeah.
And you're,
Wow.
I think you know what's funny is the trick is sorting it.
Yeah. I have a
Opening
system.
it's fun.
You
but
have a system. You have to have a system.
I have a system. So,
you don't have to give it out.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't have to, but please do.
It's super simple. So I have BCW, shout out to Rick. They make these 2 of these like sorting trays. They're like so what I do is I cut, they have like some little small square portions at the end. I cut them off and I glued 2 of like the big 8x8 trays together. And I sort by class.
Yes.
So that's the only thing. And then I sort the commons as I go, and I sort the rares into just one pile, and the majestics and stuff go into one pile because it's easier to sort the majestics afterwards.
Yes.
The same thing with legendaries, get penny sleeved, put into the side, and they have their own stack.
Of course.
But the commons is the bigger part because what I do is I just sort it by class, and then I put them into the case boxes. So for WTR, Arcane, Monarch, Tails, all the main draft sets, you can fit 2 full cases of bulk, like rares and commons, into the case, and it fits perfully where they don't move.
See, we're on the same page still. I do all that. That's easy. Yeah.
So I just do that, and then what I do is like, you know, if I don't have any cases to open, or like, because obviously I open 50 to 20 a week, but I don't open them all like every single day. Like I don't open like 3 a day. I like sit down, watch some American football, grab a beer, like go through like 20 cases in like 4 hours, a couple hours, just sit there and go through them. But like days I don't, like if I'm just sitting around doing nothing or watching a movie, I'll go get a case box and I'll make complete sets. So I'll sort them out to like 3 of this card in each pitch color, or 3 of this and whatever variation, and I'll just put them in team bags, put them into mailers, and have them set aside. So then what ends up happening is I get a lot of customers that are like, hey man, you know, I want to play this class. I kind of don't want to invest too much money into this game, but you know, what's a cheap way for me to get started in Flush Metal? I was like, well, you can pick a set you like, a type of hero you like, and I can give you the commons and rares for that set. So basically, you get like a full commoner set for that deck, essentially. And you get to try it out. You get to, you know, for a cheap entry price, I charge $40 for them. So I'm like, for $40 ship, you get to try it out. For me, it clears out space because I open up so many cards. I have so much bulk. But it gets a lot of new players in that way. And now, like, I do it for every single set. $40 for every common and rare set, $140 for every foil common and rare set, and people just buy them up like crazy.
Yep. I mean,
Is that you move that the most? Is that your highest selling product? Those presets,
those complete sets and stuff like that, and then obviously the legendaries and marvels. When new sets come out, people want them, like, you know, for their collection or stuff like that. But I'll also get deck requests from pro players and stuff like that. Like, hey, I want to play this deck for X event. I need you to make it for me. Just, you know, tell me how much money you want, and do it. And I'll just cut them a deal, make everything, have it all pre-sorted, ship it out to them. So all I got to do is open the box, put it in sleeves, and go.
have you had the pros hitting you up for worlds?
Yeah, I've had a couple.
Okay. So what?
Yeah.
Can you sense any trends? Like, is there decks that are no names?
How many snatches have you sold?
Yeah.
Not a lot of snatches, but a lot of John's favorite archetype / class. A lot. Oh, yeah.
Really?
A lot of Dory.
Ooh.
A lot of
For Worlds.
For the Worlds, yeah. I've built over 6 Dory decks.
I've been saying it's good.
Yeah.
I've been saying I think it's a.
I'm not gonna name names.
No, of course.
Yeah, but
But that's a surprise. Like if we see
That's
Dory
awesome.
if Dory's anywhere over 10% of the pool, that's over representation based on.
She's pretty good right now, in my opinion.
She's okay. I'll give you some
tell
spice
us- tell
because
us,
by the way,
Master.
this doesn't get posted. You can actually name names because we're not posting this before
yeah.
Worlds anyway. It's
Oh,
too
yeah.
it's
No
too
worries.
late
Yeah.
to post it before Worlds. Philip Mackay,
Yeah.
who you've probably heard his poetry at some point in your life.
The
That's
great poet.
the only reason he's known. He's come up with a Dory list to beat Oldham. Still does everything Dory does. I mentioned before, I don't really sideboard on Dory, so the sideboard's fairly flexible. Like man, jump on Talishar, Took me 7 games to actually get an Oldham because people ignore the title of the game even when you go, I'm on Dory, I need you on Oldham, which should be like a free invite.
It's the inside joke, right? So
but I undefeated. 3-0.
Ooh.
Now, I know it's Talisha, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
But the fact that I can
beat Oldham is it's a fact in itself. How's your Fi matchup?
Oh, I don't lose to Fi. But okay. You know Brody, young Brody?
Yeah. He's from Texas too.
So I know, that's why I figured you'd be familiar with him at least. Oh, yeah. Probably the youngest player in the room tomorrow. I played him at Pro Tour and I beat him. I was his only loss in CC.
Is that Lil, right?
Lil, yes. Yeah. He's on fire.
Yeah.
I beat him. Great loser, if that makes it. Like, very gracious when he loses. Very mature kid. But then he wanted to know how to win. And I told him, and then he went on and beat a Dory 3 matches later, and he's like, the problem with Fies is I'll just put this out there because whatever. If you're going to beat my Dory on Fi, you can't block. You have to commit, because I'm committing to not blocking your shit. You have to commit, no D-reacts, I'm going to out-damage you, because your deck will add, like, just numbers, your deck wins.
Yeah.
Like, and funnily enough, Oldham is the opposite. Oldham should commit to not attacking and will win.
That
like, if Oldham just blocks 4 cards a turn, or, like, D-reacts, like, I actually can't win. Like, if you put the numbers, how much, if I pump every Dawnblade, blah, 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 all my numbers at, like, less than half of the Oldham block value of the deck, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, because eventually you want to have to go again.
The reason I beat Fires is, first, it's a new deck. Second, it's a Boomer deck. A Zoomer deck. While, like, Dory's old school.
Attack.
Yeah, but Dory's old school. Like, everything blocks for 3. And if you are not familiar playing into Dory, like, if you picked up the game at Monarch, which is when most people got into the game.
No one knows how to block against
They
Dory.
haven't played it, but so what they do is, but they know enough to go, this is when I block with 4 cards. It's like, no, buddy, your cards block for 2. Don't even waste them. Like, they attack for 4, block for 2. Don't even put them on the chain.
Just race.
But people do, and the second they do, they've lost. Like, the second you go, here's reprise, but your card is for 2.
How many evil grins have you had when someone blocks with, like, there are 2 blocks and you're just like...
I'll occasionally be a smartass and apologize before I... Like,
I'm sorry.
My second last match in Pro Tour, so we're like, again, I'm not super high there, but like 42nd is high enough in that room.
Yeah.
The guy was playing Fi, and I had Sharp Eye, and I had a Stroke of Foresight, red in my arsenal.
Yeah.
And a red Iron Song response in hand. So I can Stroke of Foresight, draw, but put the Iron Song response on top of my deck to use Helm to get it back and have card advantage. But dude, I had Glint and Supremacy. So so by the way, I can pump for 15 off that combo.
And then just get through.
But I also had a Singing Steel Blade.
That's crazy. You just
do you know what I hit with my anyway, so I go Supremacy, like Crack Courage, Supremacy, Swing the Dawnblade, which had 2 counters on it at this point, so it's already like the game's sort of over.
Oh yeah,
doing this combo. I took a photo of it. It was Supremacy, Dawnblade for, what is it, 7?
7, yeah.
Which is already Sharp Eyes on, because it's more than double, right?
Yeah.
That's the trick.
Plus it's a breakpoint at 7.
Well, yes, it's annoying as fuck to block.
Yeah.
He's not running unmovables.
No.
And then I Glint, draw a Singing Steel Blade. And I hadn't used any Iron Song responses yet.
Oh, no.
And I think it was, at the end, it was 28 in one swing or something. Just killed him from nothing. Like, just, like, but that's obviously a high rolly, but also...
But the fact that you can high roll
he blocked with everything he had, man. He was 4 cards on the table plus armor, and I still went over. And then 3 Iron Song responses, 2 Singing Steel Blades.
Oh, man. It's going to get nasty, especially with that.
So that was 9, 10, 11.
Oh, yeah.
Plus I drew off Supremacy, and I drew a blue, so I pitched the blue, pay into Braveforge Braces, swing again for 8. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just stupid.
It's so stupid. But
I think it was 20 and then 8.
I mean, it's going to get even more nasty with your new spoiler card.
Look,
and everything.
man.
You're excited about it.
You saying you're selling more Dory singles is bittersweet.
Because
people
are waking up.
Because I'm fully aware, if it's ever a meta deck, then everyone will fucking play it. And the Dory Mirror is absolutely stupid to play. Like it sucks.
Some mirrors in this game suck. My favorite was the Prism
It's
mirror.
whoever
Prism
hits
mirror
shunt
was
first.
fantastic.
It's whoever hits their shunt first. Like the shunt is the value in that game because if I can
So
block,
I can tell you this: all of them were playing rainbow shunts, all 9.
then they're playing it wrong.
That's what they were playing. All the lists
they're
I got,
playing it
all
wrong.
6 of them,
Yeah,
rainbow shunts.
that's not the play. But
Yellow,
that's, I mean,
yellow and blue for sure. They're like, I just want red just in case. And all 6 of them said it. Now it's just like, I guess yellow and blue I can see because you could pitch it. Worst case.
no, it's red and blue.
What matchup are they bring? Is that for the Oldham matchup? What are they bringing that in for?
Guardian in general.
It's just guarding because then you can kind of block the.
There's only one matchup. Like, look, Pummel. Okay, Dory gets a counter, then wants to stop blocking because you just want to invest into getting the Dawnblade bigger or keeping it big. Because you go from swinging for 6 over 2 swings with Dawnblade to 8 to 10. Like that's how the deck wins.
Yeah.
Is my value at 0 counters is under par. With 1 counter, it's on par.
I see what you're saying.
And then with 2 counters, it's like stupid value because it's like 1 for 5. It's the best weapon in the game at 1 for 4 anyway because it's not conditional.
Yeah, just
1 for 5 is like, we're talking Herald value,
it's good.
but I don't need to use a card. Like I'm pitching, so I can actually swing 1 for 5.
So then in the end, just being free for half the time. Like you just push through and then you just get free damage out of nowhere.
Duskblade's banned for a reason. Like it was too strong, but Dory has enough downside. So the point is, though, the worst card for us is Pummel
Because it's
and Crippling and Spinal. The cards like that literally just say you can't do what you need to do. So Pummel itself, tear us under. Losing cards means it's nearly impossible to keep counters.
Yeah,
so
makes sense.
so
'Cause
shunt.
you have to start blocking them out.
So shunt off Tunic is super valuable. Yellow shunt I don't rate. There's nothing in the game where it's like 5 you need to block with a D-react. You know what I mean?
It's weird because I mean
I wouldn't run yellow
guess
shunt.
Terrace under Winter's Whale.
Yeah, but then the red works.
The red works anyways.
Yeah.
No, it's weird.
But either way, that's not the tech. We're running E-Strike, Winnable, and Finals Fighting Spirit.
Yeah, I saw those. The other ones I saw were Razor Reflexes.
Yes, yeah.
They were playing Red Razors and they were playing. I forgot there was some other generic card that they were throwing in there.
It could be Thrust from the classic battles.
Yeah, I think it was Thrust
Because it's just 1 for 3, and the more of them you have, the
the
better.
new cards aren't legal.
Question:
yet anyway.
Classic battles. How many do you buy of them? Do you buy them to crack to get the?
I bought a couple cases of them
Yep.
because the demand for the singles is high. People love their Rhino.
Yes.
They love the Unga Bunga, and they also love.
the alt art code for Reinhardt's sick.
It's sick, but the more thing is they want their like clearing bellows, their pack calls and stuff like that. Because I mean they're good cards.
They are, yeah.
But a lot of people they're like, well, I don't want to spend like $40 on this. That was the one thing I thought was kind of hit or miss with it. I was like the price.
They've
point,
acknowledged that.
Yeah, I was like the price point was kind of high. Like if it was like 25, I think it could justify it. That's like double blitz deck in one, which is basically what it was.
I was talking to this with was it Ethan? All the James White interviews are like, no one like it's hard to get all that info in one place.
Oh yeah.
James White specifically said this publicly when they ordered the classic battles, they didn't get what they were promised. So the price point and things that they put, they were expecting a much higher quality product than what was in the box. Like what Carter Monday said, like in the pitch, like the sales pitch, we'll package it and foil box and all that. They were expecting a nicer product in the end.
Yeah. Probably like a real
So
playmat
that's why
or
we
something.
haven't seen another classic battle. I believe they've gone back to square one because I think it's an amazing product. Like technically, when you play it, it's very balanced.
Yeah, exactly.
Instance, D-reacts, attack race is all there.
I think that's where the new Prism and Chain are going to come out.
I asked and it's no.
Really?
Yeah, I asked in my
It
interview.
would be perfect.
I think like do it even a CC classic battle.
Yeah, just do a CC.
But they're specifically with classic battles to be blitz and for new players. Like yes, there'll be some stuff for collectors and some stuff
For
but,
they don't want to make it so.
Well, you toe the line with precons, right? Like because then you're more of a living like card game.
Yeah.
Right. You take away the collecting aspect, the buying boxes, randomization.
Yeah,
if
they're
you're
very
just saying,
focused, like more focused than other games on that. They don't want the way you get into the game. Sorry, the way you like go to an event is buy a pre-con and go to an event. I don't think anyway. I think they want.
That's where you come in.
Yeah, I mean that's where I come in. But then the other part is that I think about it is like because a lot of the ways this game mimics Yu-Gi-Oh, right? And the way it's set up, the philosophy behind it, and stuff like that. Because the game is very archetypal. Yu-Gi-Oh is very archetypal. James White has a history in Yu-Gi-Oh. A lot of the players that are on the dev team have histories in Yu-Gi-Oh. So I think I draw the parallels there, and especially the way they set up, Eternal Game and this and that, and they have a ban list and just the way they handle it seems very Yu-Gi-Oh-esque in my opinion so far.
Doing what you do,
Yeah.
are you excited about the Living Legend format? Do you think that's going to change the landscape?
I think so. 100%.
For secondary market,
I
like
think so.
big time?
Yeah. So I think the biggest issue right now, and like for example, Monarch, right? No one wants to open Monarch, right? The Eclipse, it's like $10. Why? Because you can't use it in Chain. Chain's not there. Prism libraries and all these cards for them, you can't use them, so why buy them, right? So it de-incentivizes a lot of people to just even look at the set, and stores get hurt because they're like, well, no one buys it. I paid a lot of money on it. It's sitting here collecting dust. So I think when they have that Living Legend format, it creates another opportunity for people to use their same cards to play it. Because obviously, there's UPF, you can play it, but UPF is it's to a certain taste for people, right? Like a lot of people who play Flesh and Blood, in my opinion, are competitive players. Like they want to play in tournaments.
It's a 1v1 battle to the death. That's how the game feels good. Yeah.
I just have this feeling that if Living Legend takes off, and I really do think it will, I just have a feeling that it is going to become like just as big as Blitz, or I just really have that feeling. I just have the feeling that it's going to completely change the landscape, like Modern, when Modern got announced in Magic. Like it's really gonna, you're gonna see a complete change in the way people approach collecting Flesh and Blood, the way they value cards. I think it's going to be fantastic. I don't know, maybe I'm a little too optimistic, but I have high hopes.
Something that is relevant to you more than me, but I do open and keep enough product that I think this way too. The second a hero's LLing, they have put the new hero of that class and type in a set already. He's confirmed that.
Oh, he's confirmed it.
Yeah, 100%. So, we get a Light Illusionist Shadow to Runeblade next year.
At some point.
They rush it because they actually said specifically in their mission statement, in their company policy, they do not want you to lose value on your deck because of Living Legend.
Living Legend, yeah.
So if Prism LLs, like he literally, this was only a few days ago, and it's on my channel.
Yeah.
You will see Light Illusionist Shadow Runeblade next year. Your deck is worth something. He's aware that Prism stuff went down in prices because people aren't paying attention. And he did say this in Lil, but they didn't record the interview, so I didn't even stay for it, where he confirmed it. But it's good for someone who sells cards. If you're smart, as you and anyone listening is a collector or trying to flip stuff,
get a position on.
Go buy Prism cards. This is the time to buy Prism cards. The new Marvel
100%.
Legendary,
get a Starvo, get a Marvel. Starvo.
Correct. They will come back.
Yeah.
Starvo will be in Living Legend format. Yeah. So yes, if you don't own one, get one when it's a tenth of the price.
Yeah, they're like $35 to $40 right now.
It's silly not to, and it's still just as hard to crack. Like. I've opened a crap load of Everfest. I've held a handful of Starvo. Do you know what I mean? It's very hard to hit.
A lot of stores got burned on Everfest, from what I know. Like I know there's several.
Too many cards in it are now unplayable.
Yeah. So it's like a lot of stores have recently, right before U.S. Nationals, I had a store message me and he goes, "Hey man, I need to sell some of these singles. They're not selling for me." He sells online singles as well, and he goes, here's $13,000 worth of Flesh and Blood singles. Please take them off my hands and move them. I gave him an offer. He accepted, but it was all Everfest. It was like Stalagmites, Silver Palms.
Silver Palms is a hot card, man.
Oh yeah,
when it's relevant.
No, we need to get you a gold Silver Palms. Right?
I want one bad. I'm serious.
Are you gonna play the UPF if they have one this weekend?
Maybe, but I just want the gold. I want the gold palms.
There's only one right now, I think. No, there's two.
There's two.
There's one from Lil.
There must be.
I think so. Because that's the only other place I could think they would have had it.
And there'll be one this weekend.
This weekend, yeah.
I want to touch on something we sort of discussed it a little bit last night, but not in depth. Doing what you do, not a brick and mortar store, but there is that fine line between providing a great service, and I've told you this many times.
Yeah.
I think having having a large amount of people that do single cards, secondary, backpack traders, we used to call them. I think it's a sign of health in a game, much more than people buying cases and cases and cases and sticking them under their bed. I don't think that's a sign of health in a game. So I really, appreciate what you do. But like you said, there's that fine line between doing what you do and, threatening or undercutting what the brick and mortars do.
Yeah.
So how, like you were telling me how you sort of like internalize that and how you, balance that. So what's your feelings on that?
So I kind of balance it in the way, because obviously I don't want to undercut a store, put them out of business, because then there's nowhere to play. Right? That's why we need LGSs. We need places to play. We need to support them. Every community wants one. And when they close down, it's difficult for people to even display the game. And it causes them to just, wane away. So what I do is I do partnerships with a bunch of stores around the country. And I get my product through them. So I do deals with them and, buy large amounts. So they give me, a nicer deal. And that way I support them. They get the support they need as an LGS to stay open. I get the product I need at a rate that's comfortable. And then I can supply the singles to the community. So I feel like that's the only win-win. Right?
So you're like essentially, in a way...
I'm the dumpster.
Well, yeah, and you're selling singles by proxy through them.
Basically.
But basically,
yeah.
You're
So
like a contractor in a way to them.
I'm like a subcontractor for them. Basically, they look at me and they're like, hey, man, move this for me.
You have a good system. You're set up.
Yeah.
Can I tell you like one thing which clearly, if you exist, happens here too, but is definitely prevalent in Australia, is all these LGSs don't sell their own singles.
No.
And it doesn't make any fucking sense to me, man. Because like
no.
this is a part-time hustle for you.
Yeah.
And you've turned it into a 6-figure business.
Yeah.
Most stores don't make 6 figures.
Yeah.
I think you turn over 7 figures worth of cards, or have, right?
Yeah. So
dude,
I'll give a ballpark.
Because
I broke 7 figures this year.
That's what I mean. Like,
awesome.
Most LGSs don't do $20,000 a week in sales.
Yeah.
But then there's this game that they're in.
Yeah.
They have a store with space.
The overhead is what kills you.
But that's not the point. Do it.
No.
You should be, if you've got downtime in the store, open cases, sort the cards, sell the cards. Like, it's crazy to me that when I wanted a master set, I had to contact Hemal Patel in Texas to ship them to me. Because in Australia, nobody I contacted could go, yes, I'll make it for you.
Yeah, no.
Like, they weren't even willing to put the time to make it. Like,
I think that's the biggest thing, though. They don't have the time, or they don't want to make the time.
Dude, I've been to game stores. They have time. Like, most game store owners are hobbyists, so they want the little bit of lifestyle business, which is fine.
Yeah.
But if you're in the store till 6 p.m. and 5 p.m. you saw your last customer. Yeah. Also, close the door at 5. In an hour, like I open a box in 4 or 5 minutes. If I'm not trying to show anyone what I'm opening. Yeah. Even 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Sorting it would probably be 5 minutes a box. Open a case is 20 minutes.
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Get done real quick.
Like you said, you could take a day, like on a Saturday.
Yeah, I just do it while I'm watching
4 hours,
sports.
And you've got how much money, like how much turnover worth of stock? You know what I mean? Like,
easily
a few $1,000s.
$5,000 to $10,000.
Dude, what I'm saying is,
even then is because they get it at a cheaper rate because they're a brick and mortar.
But they also have the customers.
Yeah, they have their base.
You know what you sell. If someone walked into your retail store to buy the same
instant.
No, but it's higher price. You can charge more for commons in a store than online because you're there. Like the convenience of, okay, there's a ProQuest. Can I buy my singles an hour before ProQuest? Yes. Yeah. Everyone's happy to pay a premium because it's too late to ship.
That and the shipping part is what also kills it in the way. Yes. Because what they can do is like, hey, the instantaneous gratification is an important part, especially in America.
Look, I still buy stuff from people's shelves. Like I'll see a card. Like a Rainbow Fall tunic. Yeah. I'm like, man, it's hard to find. Oh, yeah. I'm like, you know what? How much do you want for it? And sometimes it's 20% over market. Yeah. But I'll buy it because it's in the cabinet. Like I can see it.
I mean, it works the same way at events with vendors, right? Like, it's easier
for a premium.
I wouldn't say a premium, but it's easier for people to justify, I'm going to make that purchase now because I can get it now versus I'm going to make that purchase.
It's just a shame
and get it a week later.
I'm not like, I'm not talking down about you. Yeah. Like you do what you're doing, but what you're doing should be stores because it will keep their doors open. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They can have a bit like, dude, any store, even the large ones, if they added a 7-figure turnover per year business.
I only started this because, to be fair, one, I saw a need for it, right? Because at the time in America, there wasn't that many single selling stores, and all of them were specializing in first edition collector's cards because that's where the money was.
Yeah. There was some pushback on like people not opening unlimited.
No one was opening
or
unlimited.
selling unlimited.
No
singles,
one was selling unlimited singles. So I was like, let's do it. There was only one other store, and sadly he closed his doors because he got busy in life. It was Midtown Merchant, Mitch Murray.
Okay, yes,
he was a good friend of mine. So he used to open his stuff, and I used to supply him stuff. I used to ship him singles that I would open for my cases that I would just open for, just giggles and just like, oh, look, cards. But he used to buy them off me, and he used to sell them on his site, and I used to supply them for a bit. Then eventually I was like, around Monarch I had a video with Rudy, and on Rudy's video I also said this. I was like, people didn't want to pay $1,000 for a Cold Foil Footsteps. No one wants to pay $1,000 for a card piece, especially when it came out last week, right? I don't think there's a justifiable reason for it.
No.
So I was like, well, Monarch Unlimited is coming out here. All these stores are selling it for like $280 or $290 a case, whatever map was at the time. And they're like, hey, let's. I was like, let me just buy a bunch. I didn't have any, connections, any people. I went to StarCityGames.com. I bought 20 cases at $300 or whatever the price was, and I got them shipped to my door. And I funded this from that earlier thing I mentioned when I bought all those cold foils. I bought all those cold foils. I bought about 3 sets worth. I kept 2. I sold 1 to the market, and I took that money and I reinvested it back. I was like, I'm just going to buy a bunch of cases. So I bought a bunch of cases. I cracked them all open, sold the singles. It went well. I was like, let's buy more. Did it again. Yeah, it's been going well. Then that's when the first RTN season happened in 2021. And I was like, well, people are wanting a lot of comments because they want to play in this thing. They want Command and Conquerors, they want E-Strikes and this and that. So like, let's, talk to my local LGS and see if they can give me some WTR on ARC. Contacted him. We did some things. I bought them off him. So, and then I started reaching out to other stores like, hey, if I buy, X amount, is there a deal you can cut? And then that eventually transgressed into 5 cases, 10 cases, 20 cases, 40 cases, and it went on that way. And so I mostly still do this now. Like, to be honest, like I there's not really a reason for me to do it, but I do it because I like pretty cards, and I want to get cards for free. So this just incentivizes me to be more involved in my hobby that I enjoy, and on top of that, I get to enjoy the hobby for no cost to myself.
I saw you first, when I first heard about you, was on Salty Whales.
Yeah.
Big
Michael
shout out. Love Salty Whale.
I love Michael, man.
Yeah, awesome guy. And at the time, I was very annoyed with a few people in the community and, saying there's no money to be made in Fab because these people were stupid.
Yeah.
They just had this mentality of buy sealed box, wait 6 months, sell sealed box, or cold foils to the moon.
Yeah, the Rudy dilemma.
Yeah, the people that
the Rudy influence.
Yeah, the people that just have no clue. And then you came on, and Salty Whale's like, no, people are making money off Flesh and Blood singles. Here's a guy, rainbow foils, all day, every day.
Yeah.
He's doing it. And, I'm just like, all we're getting is this noise from a couple of people that, have a lot of subscribers and so-called influence saying, Fab Fire's dead. And I'm just like, people wake up. Wake up.
The biggest issue is when they do that is that the people they're talking about is like 10 people.
Yes.
So like, let's say you have 100 people in the room, right? 90%, like 90 of those people are people who are going to play the game. They want game pieces.
Yeah.
They don't want to have, like a Van Gogh painting on the wall or anything like that. They don't want to just stare at it and be like, one day that's going to be worth some money. Like, it does nothing for anyone. People want to slap their card on their card pull. They want to go team and they want to play.
Yeah.
So,
and the more people that we have doing that
creates more value for
exactly.
everybody else.
And the collector, the high-end collectors, like the big man that's about to walk through the door, they're gonna go up as well.
Yes.
It's like you don't build a base off, a small few buying alpha, sticking it under their bed and cold falls.
No,
you build the base from all the rainbow for all the players, and then everything rises up from that. That was like the main thing about, one of the things being Timmy, you build a game success on legions of Timmys that are willing to go to the events, willing to buy all the cards, willing to be a part of the fanfare, build their decks,
go from there.
Go from there,
Do you have a website?
I don't, but I'm making one. So I had an original planned, and I had gotten everything done, but the artist I had commissioned to do all the art for it, it wasn't to my liking. It was a Cardamundi classic battle situation. So will he be? I paid for something, and I got something completely different. So I'm having it all redone by one of my good friends, and So it's a process, but I'm trying to get it all set up. But the other thing is, personally, I think it's better to not have a website.
Yeah.
Because it gives you the freedom to, in the sense that, because as much as I hate to do it, like a lot of the market right now, it's like, oh my God, like the silver thing, right? Like they showed off the new Huntsman, the what was it, Aranaki or Arachne.
Arachne, yeah.
Where and like silver token, and everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna buy all the silver tokens. If you have the website, it's good in one way because it gives you an easy platform for people to access your inventory. And
But they'll buy out.
But they'll buy it out, and it can hurt you in the sense that, like, if you oversell or you sell it or you listed 10, you only had 9, you have to cancel 1. It backfires on you because then they'll be like, oh, look this guy
easy
is
fix.
This and that.
What you have to do with that is you never list all your stock because if something goes up 100x, you don't have time to change 5,000 SKUs. You know what I mean?
So what I'm having made instead is a permission form.
Sure.
So basically, what it's going to be is going to have my it's going to have every single card in Flesh and Blood available in all the variants. You go to the website, submit a list. It has the pricing listed next to it, and you submit it. And once it gets submitted, it gets into my thing, forms like a receipt, and I go and fill the order, tell you, and email you back with payment information, and you pay for what's in stock.
Okay.
So basically, it's a website, but it protects. There's a little bit more of a step in that way. And I feel like that's going to be better long term because right now I don't have a website. So I've been doing everything through word of mouth, Discord, Facebook, Twitter, social media, right? And it's going decently well, but obviously you want a little bit more backbone stability.
The reason you should have a website is doing what you do. I think a very good way to make money is selling the full decks. Yeah. If you're the only site going Proto Winner, Pablo Pintor's chain list.
I'll do like a Magic
buy
thing.
it.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Boom.
I can.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. Because Magic used to do that with the championship deck.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's not even just the championship
Tall
decks.
Timmy's 3-0 draft fire deck at Worlds. Right here, right now. Hemal, special price.
Get a special signed red Ronin Renegade.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Imagine that. Oh my God. But no, I really like the culture that I guess you've created. Basically, you know what I mean. So, what would your advice be to say someone in England, that part of world, growing player base, European players, and they want to do something similar? Like, what would be your advice? Just start small, like you did, or?
So, funnily enough, I think John messaged me about this a couple weeks ago, and he's like, if you were to try to do something like sell singles, how would you do it? And I laid it out in like 4 steps. Basically, the biggest and important part for doing anything in scale, you need access to money, right? Like whether you don't need to have incredible amounts of money, you need a couple $1,000s because if you don't, as the saying goes, as much as I hate it, you need to have money to make money.
Yeah, that's true.
In this case, you need capital.
You need capital.
Buying a box
for any business
scale.
Yeah, for doing any business and anything. And then the other thing, like I was talking to Paul earlier today, is that over volume, variance is a little bit lower. So you can justify hitting a dud case if you up in 20 cases, because then eventually one of those 20 cases will be the fire case, which makes up for the dud case. So, but if you're doing it at like 4 cases, 3 cases.
1 case is risky.
Exactly. Yeah. So you need to hit, I think the minimum value I would set for starting would be like 20 cases, which at that point is like.
Mixed sets?
You can do mixed sets, sure. I used to do mixed sets in the beginning.
I think if you're starting now, you get Dynasty because
100%.
The value will always be better on the brand new set.
Exactly.
But
you always start with the brand new set and you dip your toes. And then, so that's the first part. It's capital. Second part I would say would be align yourself with your LGSs, right? Like, create communities, help people locally and stuff like that. So in Houston, I do a lot of singles. A lot of the community, when they need singles, they message me. Even LGSs themselves, they buy singles from me to stock their LGSs because they're like, why have to deal with someone else? Why have to deal with buy lists? Let me just message the guy and get it directly. He'll just come drop it off to me and I can go put it in my display. Yeah. Or even then, if they're like, because a lot of LGSs, they're not like your like Walmart of LGSs where they have like a warehouse in the back full of tons and tons of cases that they can just like pull out from. Some of them they get by ordering 4 or 5 cases at a time. So for them to open all those cases to put singles out, it's not a good thing for them. It's easier for them to just buy list singles and stuff like that. So I'll get orders like that. So align yourself with like an LGS in that way. Third, organization. So when I have all my inventory sorted in number order. So, and by rarity. So all the Majestics are in one area, all the foils are in one area, and they're all sorted by their set order numbers, like 001, 002, 003, color, and stuff like that. And they're all sorted that way. And all the high-end hits, which would be L's and higher, Marvels, Alt Arts, Chase cards, they're all in their own separate thing. And they're all organized in that way, and all the commons are all in the sets, all organized by class. And that way, when I need something, I know exactly where it is. Because half the reason a lot of people don't do this is that it takes too much time, right? Like, I know, like we talked about earlier with the LGS and stuff like that, like, they have the time. But what you want to do is to save the customer's time. So then you sacrifice your time for theirs, and they pay you the money for it.
Yeah.
That's why I do the sets, the complete sets. Like, a lot of people, they're like, if I buy a case for around this price, I'll get a complete set. Or if I buy a box, like whatever. But I can just spend $40, and someone can do it for me, and that changes everything. Because when there's a will, there's a way, and money talks.
Dude, I've opened every card in the game anyway.
Yeah.
I paid you for a set because I did not have the time to go through every common, every rare.
Oh yeah, thank you for that, by the way.
For what?
With the little deal trade we made.
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
So those who follow me, and you've seen Saha on this channel.
Oh, yeah.
She won the
Taylor.
The Taylor.
Yeah.
You wanted a Taylor.
I wanted a Taylor. I was the guy that got the Taylor.
Paying.
Oh, that was you.
That was me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I paid Saha in Australia for the Taylor.
Yeah.
He sent me a master set of the whole game, minus legendaries, but
Minus
then a whole
legendaries.
bunch of legendaries and marvels.
Yeah, and then it was like a couple. He bought like the couple Ashwings, Marvel Ashwings, and then some tunics and some. Like,
so I ended up with a
legendaries.
fantastic. Like, that's the thing about deals business in general. It was he was very happy with the price.
Yeah.
Because also he didn't have to pay.
Yeah, I just had to ship it.
He just had to ship me stuff.
Yeah.
So everyone got a very good deal.
Yeah.
Everyone got a very good deal.
Everyone got a
She
good
was
deal.
very happy.
Yeah.
Because technically, I made sure I wasn't being greedy, so I overpaid her compared to all the public offers and that she'd gotten.
Yeah.
You didn't pay anything.
Yeah.
And I made sure the value was like 50% split between me and Saha. So whatever I saved on your cards, I paid her. I was very happy.
We all got something out of it.
Everyone, that's one of the best deals I've ever done because
Yeah.
I literally ended up with every deck in the game.
Yeah, whenever you want to, you just pull it out. That's what I do. So like when I open up these sets, I pull out. I like foils. I like pretty things. So I'll pull out a full foil playset for myself. So I have binders at home. I have them all color sorted for myself in set order. So like, I feel like playing Levia today. I'm going to go to Mansan's YouTube channel, pull out a deck list. I'll just go to the binders, pull it all out, and put it in sleeves and go play.
Yeah.
So organization's the biggest thing. And then like, especially for me, like I live in Texas. Texas has like humidity of like the surface of the earth. Like you will burn alive. So what we do is I built a wine cellar type situation. It wasn't like expensive, but what I did was it's like a humidity controlled area.
Okay.
I put all the cards in there. So I can control the humidity, which ideal is around 50%. It prevents the curling. And then I also can keep the temperature normal, and it has a generator, backup generator if the power goes out.
Wow.
So I can keep everything under control. And I only built that after the fact. Like, you don't need this to start out, but, like, a long-term goal. Like, if you want to expand it and do this and go onwards, like, with the volume I do now, it's more beneficial for me to keep everything nice and pristine. Because that's what people want, right? Like, they don't want your, damaged, curb-stomped street fight in front of a coffee house, type of... type of card.
I took a video of a street fight today. I've never done that too. It's just now a memory of San Jose.
This is Welcome to America.
Well, I was talking shit
California,
about America
baby.
yesterday, and this is why. Like, man, I've been many places in the world. America feels like a third world country to me. I don't know.
It's the Wild West.
This doesn't happen in Australia? Like, y'all just not like,
Oh,
man.
look, at 4 a.m. near like the
pub,
red light
outside a
district.
pub.
Sure,
I mean, that happens everywhere.
But not on like a public street at 8 a.m., 9 a.m. No, I don't see that. No.
And they were legit going for
They
it.
were-
They
they
were
were-
throwing haymakers.
They were, that guy got mad.
Dude, it's what's funny to me. Sorry, Americans, I love you all, but like I think Americans think they live in a first world country. I think that's the problem. They think,
Well, when we get a call in,
no, sorry, Texas might be a first world country. I don't know.
It depends where.
no, yeah, when we get a call in Texas, Hamel's already told me he's gonna take me to Walmart. I'm gonna buy myself a gun because I'm
Yes.
allowed.
Yeah.
He's a lawyer, so he's gonna do the pre-paperwork so I can have an open carry license.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm gonna attend the event with the cowboy hat,
I'll-
the belt.
I'll take you to a firing range
Hamel?
before.
No,
or we can do
no.
it.
Can you just make sure the guns aren't loaded? He can open carry all he wants. There's no
and I'm
no
g-
bullets in the.
We'll start him off with a BB gun,
Yeah, I'll do BB guns.
and then we'll expand.
Yeah.
We'll see how good it gets.
So in Australia,
Yeah.
you know the gel blaster guns?
Yeah.
10 years in jail.
Really?
Oh yeah. Like it's on like my Facebook feed, the police for our state
That's
are like,
terrible.
don't buy gel blasters online. Why? The penalty's 10 years in jail. Like that's how strict that like on guns, you can get a gun license in Australia.
It's really tough.
Well, no, you can get one easily. You just can't
It's
own
not-
a gun. Like if you have a gun license, you have to store the gun in a very
It's still
specific
hard
way.
to get a license.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No,
I have a
it's
family-
very easy. You just
yeah.
have to join a club. Like if you,
I have a
if-
family member that lives in Australia.
Yeah.
They were telling me that it's like super difficult to get.
maybe
one.
because
And
they're
he-
brown, man. That's why.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I had trouble at TSA. I went to TSA. They saw the little bricks, and it was like strapped to my body. Like, no.
Dude, I travel with my son. He's 14. He lives in
Yeah.
another state.
Yeah,
You know, school holidays because I share custody. I go pick him up.
yeah.
Without fail, when he travels with me, I get pulled over for the bomb swab thing. And without fail, my kid's a bit like me. He's like always asking the security officer, why do you always pick my dad out of the line? They're like, oh, it's random, kid. He's like, no, it's not, because you pick him every time. And I'm like, Xander, shut up. You're going to get me arrested. But look, no, I you can get a gun license in Australia easy for sporting reasons. Hunting's not a good reason. Self-defense is not a good reason. So
like-
the way you get a gun license easy is you have to join a pistol or rifle club, like
what
a
if-
shooting
But you
range.
say that's easy for American. That's hard.
No, what I'm saying
There's
is
still many steps.
if you like shooting guns in
What
Australia,
if you live like near the bush? Like, are
so
you able to get
farm very easy to get a gun. Yes,
Okay.
yeah, to shoot like pests and stuff. Yeah,
I was about to say, I was
when
like,
I say
'cause y'all
easy,
have, like-
it's paperwork. But in America, there's paperwork too. In a lot of places, you still have to do the pre-checks and whatever.
There's like animals up the wazoo.
Yeah, but it's very
Australia that'll, like,
different. You
kill
have to store your gun in a safe. Then your
Oh,
ammo
dude, and
has to be kept in another
police
safe.
will just knock on your door
You have
randomly and
audits,
go, "We're here to
checks.
check your gun." Like, and that'll happen more than once a year.
That's creepy.
No, but that's the rule because they want to. The gun cannot be stored near the ammunition. It has to be locked, and the penalties are huge if you have like a loaded gun in the.
And
safe.
then when you take your gun to go shooting on your property, the vehicle needs to have a lockbox safe.
Yeah.
The ammo needs to be separate. Like everything is controlled.
Yeah. But this all happened because we had one massive mass shooting in
They just made all the
Tasmania.
laws after.
1998.
Yeah, and they just went nope, and actually works. Whether
Yeah.
you agree with it or not,
Yeah,
we
no.
don't have mass shootings anymore.
Yeah.
Like it happened before that, but this was a major one, racially motivated.
Yeah.
and that was it.
After
And
that,
since then, is there gun violence? Yes, on occasion.
Yeah, I
I mean,
mean, there's always
gangs
gonna be-
get their
there's always
hands
gonna
on
be
it, sure.
something, yeah.
But it's so hard and so expensive to get them legally.
That it just taps everybody out. They're just
Yeah,
like,
it does. I most Australians don't like wholeheartedly agree with how strict it is.
Yeah, but
you know what I
You
mean.
just go along with it.
No, but at the end of the day, we don't hear like schools don't get shut up. Like that. That's sort of the trade off, right?
the trade-off,
And
yeah.
Australia very much feels safer than the US. Like I'm saying,
Yeah.
Here, I feel like I have to be on guard a little bit more. Like in LA,
We saw,
New
we, saw
York.
John, we saw John walking on the street every 5 seconds. He just turns around. Like, hey.
Yeah, I was like, checking over my shoulder. I need to buy a gun.
And you don't worry, you'll see the tall Timmy with a sombrero walking with the gun revolver strapped to my hips.
I swear, I probably think those people thought that like the Paul was your bodyguard. He's like just walking behind you menacingly.
Thing is, I don't. I'm not confrontational. Like, I very much am confident if I get in a, but
Only when people block wrong with Dory, then you're like, haha.
then I laugh. So, by the way, James Curry's not coming because he went to the wrong hotel and then he went to the reception and reception's like not letting him up, so he's gone to a meeting. Just letting you know.
Oh,
Are you still waiting for him? Yeah, don't worry about it. It's too much of a hassle right now.
We'll sort him out after.
Yeah. Is this going to keep going when you are officially a lawyer?
yeah.
Or is your
I'm
business
gonna
for sale?
keep doing it. No, I'm gonna keep doing it.
Awesome. It's still you enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I tried to buy businesses that had the So Fab in the early days, he used to allow online stores to get distribution access, and I inquired about a couple stores that went under if I could acquire their said thing, and it doesn't transfer. So
okay,
I'm a believer in. Well, again, this is probably counterintuitive to you.
Yeah,
I think LSS should have a deal with distributors that if a store buys
X amount. Well,
let's say a store buys 20 cases for their pre-orders, but then they buy 10 cases for singles, that they should get a rebate on the singles ones to help stores, because not enough stores are opening boxes for singles, that maybe like a 10% bump down, but you somehow have to verify that, or maybe you get sent what the distributor can do is actually open all the boxes, pour the loose packs, and send you loose packs, and like
the other easier way to do it.
But I'm also a believer in like people like yourself actually are a catalyst. If we don't have Hemals, we don't have a game. Like you need a place to get singles. Yeah. It is super inefficient for the public to go buy a case and then build Arachne. Like that doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
And the problem is, I think the big reason Fab isn't growing quicker, although it's growing, is you can't walk into any store
and build a deck.
You can't always find certain cards. Like there's cards that literally become hard to buy because all the people have them, none of the stores have them.
Yeah, and then the other option is like, what's your other option? TCG Player, eBay. But then the issue,
we don't have those in our part of the world.
Yeah,
like
so that's the other thing. So like most parts of the world, other than America, don't even have that option. Yeah. eBay, sure, maybe eBay works everywhere, but
not
it's
for Fab singles.
Yeah,
for us,
it's hit or miss. But for TCG, what ends up happening is you get 50 different sellers and you have 50 different packages, and it becomes a mess because like if you wanted to buy like let's say like 3 red Iron Song responses, for example,
you need a broker. You need someone to go, they will do the work, find the deck.
You want someone to centralize everything. Like this weekend I've already got like 10 to 15 lists from cards. Like the people are like, hey, I'm looking for these. If you can gather them up for me this weekend, I'll come buy them from you. Or, hey, if you have these in stock, set them aside for me. And if you get these in stock, or if you pick them up this weekend, I'll pick them up off you. And it's just stuff like that. Because what happens is a lot of people, they're just like, hey, man, I just want to get it all done at one time.
Yeah.
I want one good deal on it, and I want to just knock it out.
Yeah.
And that's the easiest thing. And that's the fourth thing. Because remember I said it was 4 things. The fourth part is just be convenient. Because half the reason a lot of people don't buy from a lot of people is like, hey, they're upcharging, or hey, they're being a little,
or they don't ship quickly.
They don't
like
ship
I had
quickly.
that issue. I bought a deck for a ProQuest.
Oh yeah,
guy didn't ship it, so I had to buy the deck again.
Yeah.
Then the original guy, I got his deck. I'm like, dude, I'm sending this back. Like I wanted it for ProQuest, which you knew.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, man, no refunds. I go, are you serious? Like, I already overpaid, and I told you to rush it, and you told me to ship it today.
Yeah.
It's like, sorry, man, I got busy. I'm like,
yeah. So I go to the mail every single day. And I just drop it off. I'm very good friends with my local mail guy. I go to like a mixed store, so it's not like a U.S. mail or a UPS or a FedEx. They do all 3 of them.
Yep.
So I'm good friends with him, and just go drop it all off. He processes it, sends it all out on time.
I have a proposal for you.
Oh, tell me.
What we're missing? No. What we're missing. So I have contacts that you don't have, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
I have contacts that have pallets of Monarch first they're trying to clear.
Oh, man.
I saw someone on the US trade pages trying to sell Everfest very low because he's stuck with a lot of stock. Probably wants to order Dynasty, right?
Probably.
We need a Facebook group for that, where it's actually box breakers like Chris size. Like Chris size much bigger than me. Like he's more your size, where it's like 100K, right? No, but if we had a closed group, where we also invite these vendors and share them. Like,
it makes it up perfectly.
If someone in New Zealand can ship you a pallet of Monarch first for the right price, knowing the light cards that are coming out, it's something that you and Chris would probably be like, dude, I'd probably, 50, at the right price, take 50 cases. But I think if we had a closed group, because LSS isn't going to do it. Like, you know what I mean?
But because they don't get anything out of it.
But out there in the world, if we or pooled, okay, this store is going under, they got this stock to sell. This store closed and they're auctioning their stuff.
I wouldn't even say going under.
No, but more importantly, it's like anyone trying to clear stock, because sealed stock, can jump on there and post. You'll find a lot of LGSs go, look, I got 10 cases I want to clear. I know GamesCube has like 20, 30 cases of Tales of Aria first, and it's just clogging up their storage room.
That you can also, I think the bigger issue is you help stores out with their cash flow. right?
That's what I'm saying.
The cash flow thing, like
if a store knew they could jump on that group, and it's you, me, Chris, Saint, but like anyone else that wants to crack for singles
or do box breaks, like that's how I got into the game.
Because I don't want it to be people that want one case. It's like make a group that's like 5 case minimum type stuff.
Like minimum trades. I mean, I can see that. So basically, you're linking the LGSs,
and then we're inviting people we know.
Yeah,
but a lot of these people don't want to be known. Like some of the contacts I have and you have, they don't want it out there
that
they have a deal with you. Like that's not that there's anything wrong. They just don't want to like.
If there's any ramifications.
Listen, they don't want everyone knowing that they're clearing 50 cases because they need cash flow. Like that's not a good. Like it's not what you want your customers to know. Even though it's just business, right? Yeah. Look at Channel Fireball. Every time they do this for cash flow, they get slammed.
I bought a ton.
I understand it from a cash flow perspective. They're not trying to hurt the game. They're literally going in the books. They're like, we're in the red, but we have this asset.
Let's flip it.
Just flip it. Just we need cash. It hurts the game, but that's not why they're doing it.
Like as much of a controversial take as this is, I don't think CFB did much wrong. Like it was bad, yes, but in the way they did it with the access they had was bad, sure. But I think it was just business in the end of the day.
Rudy's like comments towards them don't feel justified.
I don't think
like,
so at all.
CFB don't owe anyone answers. Like if they bought the stock, I think it's people think or assume that there's more to it with LSS and CFB. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's a CFB is a bigger company than LSS.
100%.
They bought a lot of stock.
Yeah.
And this is, I was about to comment this before. What I hate hearing, which is exactly the same vein, is when people go, they ordered 100 cases of Everfest and now they're stuck with them. Why did you order 100? Like, why? Like, you should only be buying, like you.
If you could sell
If you can't afford 100 cases at a 50%, like let's say your worst case scenario is a 50% loss on EV. If you can't afford that, you shouldn't be buying them. Like, this isn't gambling. Stores shouldn't be gambling. Like, if you know what I mean? Like the Monta 1K thing. I don't feel sorry for anyone.
No.
Like, you're gambling. You're speculating.
Yeah. You're shorting it. In a way,
but that's on you. Like the whole point of this stuff is it fails sometimes.
Yeah,
like you don't always make money in business. Like some deals are bad.
Well, I mean, but that's the other problem because what happens is these people get burned and they get burned once and then they sit there and they don't want to touch it again. But then the other problem is that they're touching a boiling kettle and expecting not to get burnt, and you're like, well, what would you expect?
But again, it's. Like all these stores that are selling cases for low because they need cash flow, fucked up.
Yeah,
and that's on them.
And you see,
no LSS's job isn't to sell the product for you.
Yeah,
right. And again, you have options. You can crack that for singles. You can take all the time and sell commons out of it. Like if you can, you can do it. Like people can hustle.
Yeah. So to be fair, Wizards of the Coast has probably helped my business the most because
explain that.
Okay, so they release products like a madman. Just throwing them out there. It was like, hey, today's a new product. Here you go. Oh, we're going to make a new type of foil. Here you go. Oh, we're going to flip it upside down. Here you go. They just like invent new concepts just to sell singles. But what happens is that these LGSs have to carry Magic. They have to carry Pokemon.
Yeah.
Because it's the two biggest things. Pokemon being the biggest IP in the world. And Magic being one of the biggest trade card IPs other than Pokemon, right? So they have to carry it. And the problem that happens is that they have to buy the product. They have to buy an X amount of product the next time because if they don't buy it and then
they get cut off, right?
They get cut off. That's what I think. I don't want to say I know too much, but that's what ends up happening. And then you end up in that problem where people are like, well, I have to take it on and I have to buy it. But then they get stuck with X amount of Dynasty or like that. Like, I'm not sure how the dynamics works exactly, and I don't want to comment on it, but I'm like 95% sure. A lot of, at least I know from my local LGS, this is what he's told me verbatim. I need to move some fab so I can afford more Magic and more Pokemon because I have to buy it. Because
the Magic at the moment it's dead stock.
It's dead stock.
I know LGSs they can't sell.
It's hit and miss. Some of the sets sell. Like Kamigawa, I think sold very well.
Yeah,
and then you go. The thing with Fab is it also has happened to a smaller extent. Like Everfest and Tails, and some of the Unlimited product was just not like. So Tails, I think it's both good and bad. So in Australia, the distributors actually, if you are not a WPN store for Magic, can't get Flesh and Blood at a cheap price. That's actually a fact in our region.
It's really crap.
It's absolutely insane.
It's ridiculous.
But that's also what hinders
only one
the single
distributor.
stuff.
Oh, there's only one.
For
so
Fab.
you have to do it.
Well, you got no choice.
Well, I've brought it up with LSS. They
you're partnering with
acknowledged it
someone
and
else.
nothing happened.
I mean, it's a lot of logistical stuff they have to deal with.
I don't think it's that much. You can just tell the distributor, fuck you, do not put our name in. Like, you cannot dictate. Like, what LSS should do is tell the distributor, this client runs skirmishes, so skirmishes and up, give them a better price because they're clearly. And I think
but it's probably,
what LSS actually should be doing, which maybe has more negatives than positives, but I really believe this. If the store doesn't sell singles, should not be getting events like anything bigger than an armory. Like, if you don't have any singles in your store for Flesh and Blood, why the fuck are they getting a ProQuest? If I see another ProQuest in a store that I can't even buy a legendary at the counter, you're not in it.
Most of them don't. Like, so
but you're not in it, man. Like, how are you
it.
in it? Like what I'm saying is, you don't even need to crack boxes for that. You just need to, like, if a player in your store cracks a pack, I want to trade it in. Trade it in.
Yeah.
Some of these players, they don't. How do you not have singles, but you want to run like ProQuest,
PTQs and stuff like that? Like,
dude, our nationals, Hemal, was run by a store that has singles, didn't bring any to nationals.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
So our friends,
He had no vendor.
our friends like that came with us,
Yeah.
called up ahead, going, "Hey, can you pack these cards for me?" They're like, "No." They literally said no. Like, imagine that. They said no. Why? We're too busy. Like, yeah, but you sell singles. Can you just get them to nationals for me? Like, you're the same store.
Yeah.
And the owner said no. And then you turn up to the event. One of the vendors had a binder of legendaries.
That's it. There's like one binder.
Like, you're going to buy a
in the
single
whole
rare
venue.
or common, which is insane because that's where the profit margins are in big events. Is people want red snatches, you charge them like 10 times what they're actually worth because it's at an event.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I'm not in the belief of breaking the commons and rares to events.
But I'm saying,
but like, they're having no singles at all is ridiculous.
man, but I disagree. That's exactly what you take to fucking nationals or any big event.
Yeah.
You take like, if you own play sets of the game, you should have one with you.
What I would do personally, and when I do events, I don't usually run the booth. I get hired out by different stores and stuff like that. So it's whatever they want to do. I just work for that event. What I would do personally is hire someone, bring like 20 copies of each rare, 15 copies of each common, but pre-sort it before, and then just slap it at a couple 5Ks, bring it. It's probably gonna be like maybe like one suitcase worth.
That's what you need at an event, because someone goes like we were at Lille. Matthew Folks, who won the event, was scrambling for yellow snatches.
Yeah.
Boggles my mind that he can't buy yellow snatches. At that point, when he needs it for his deck tomorrow, it's not about profiteering, but you can charge whatever you want.
No, 100%. That's how I met Hayden and Brendan Patrick in Orlando. They needed yellow Ravenous Rebels.
Yeah.
And I
That's
was
disgusting.
Like, I know, it was awful. And they're like, hey, man, we really need these. And I was like, well, we have arcane packs, and we don't have any commons and rares.
Crack some
like,
packs.
all right, well, let's go. I got them, and they're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about, we spoke over breakfast, delicious bagels.
Oof.
I never knew that you could get strawberry cream cheese. Cream cheese? Yeah.
Cream cheese.
Yeah. I didn't know it came in flavors. So that's a thing.
It's an American delicacy.
And breakfast syrup. Never had that before. That was cool. Waffles. Yep. It's all good. So unlimited.
Yes.
It's becoming rare.
Yes.
You said particularly Arcane Rising Unlim.
Yeah.
There's
in the States
not,
here, it's very
not much
rare.
out there.
Yeah. So in the beginning, right, when we had in November of 2020 was when WTR and Arcade Unlimited first came out. And it became, even in the beginning of those Unlimited, it was super, super hard to get. Like most stores, it was like getting drip fed. It was after Waterart came out that I guess they printed more or something, because it became super available to get until that following November 2021 when they both went out of print. And now recently, since that out of print announcement, the last big influx of Arcade Unlimited I saw was during that Channel Fireball. So since then, I have not seen any available really at a decent price anywhere. Like minimum price I've seen, like on TCG, I think it goes between like $375 and $400 for a case, which after fees is like $340-ish for a store, $335-ish.
And you said Monarch Unlimited, harder to get?
It's harder to get. Yeah. I've asked around. some stores have it, some stores don't, but it's not as like heavy as it used to be. Like before Monarch, people would be just like, please, just take it, and now it's just like, well, we might keep some, do that, do this.
And Crew Unlim?
Crew Unlim is the same as Arc, basically, because Crew was very short printed. Because they made an article.
Well, they never intended to print.
They never wanted to, but they did it because they went into Europe, and Europe is like, well, we don't have any Crucible. So they're like, well, we need to print it. And then they used, if you ever felt a Crucible for a limited card, they feel different to every other card in the entire game.
It was the first Japan print.
It was the first Japan printing, but they did like this like weird gloss. And like they're like cut weirdly and something like so. Like they feel different, like really, really different.
When people, because I get contacted, I got this fake card. I'm like,
is it from Crucible?
What is it? It's an unlimited non-foil.
Let's go, baby. Pack number 2. Crew Unlimited.
It's usually the tunics people think are fake. I'm like, if it's a non-foil Crew tunic, it's probably not fake. It just looks different to the real one. You know what I mean?
Tunic, please.
Nah. We got a foil Torrent of Tempo. Then we got a big horn.
Ooh, big.
Team. And Crane Dance.
There we
this
go.
is going to be John after a couple drinks tonight.
Okay.
Unlikely.
Yeah, they do. They do feel,
You feel the stock?
yeah.
Look, it's very easy to tell if they're a real card or not.
No, it's super easy.
Yeah, but
I helped out.
but they like if you're new.
Yeah.
Like, let's say...
But there are some fake cards going on.
No, I've got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Someone in Vietnam did get a fake tunic sent to them.
One of my friends here, he made a video on his YouTube channel. I helped him, identify that it was fake. He bought fake 4 scenes, the Chinese ones.
Yes, yeah.
Ooh. And
actually?
OKNY, yeah. And they he got them through a reputable seller, and the seller instantly refunded.
What region?
Taiwan.
Okay. Talk to me off camera because that's way too close to home from the
I know where
foil
the
foil fabled were coming out of foil hearts.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We found the seller online on Alibaba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not the seller. I'm talking about the community member that their name keeps popping up.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay. We'll talk after. But
like if that's again, like I didn't know.
So I was easily. There's a video on his channel. It's the OKNY podcast. I think I forgot the things. The good friend Oliver.
I met him. What's his name?
Oliver, and then the other guy's name is I forgot what.
That's who I met, not Oliver. I just met him at the cafe before.
I know his Discord name. I don't know his real. His Mal Zenith. He writes on the Flesh and Blood website for LSS, so he got them sent. And he goes, "Hey, I know you buy expensive stuff. Do you have like real ones?" And I pulled out my set, took pictures, and you could easily tell the font
the foiling's
was off.
all wrong.
No, the foiling was correct on the card itself. The resource area was blurry, and then on top of that, the font was not dark. So LSS uses a specific type of font, and the easiest way to tell is that you could see, like, you could compare my A from the real one to his A, and you could just be like, that's not right. And you could just like nitpick everything, and then he jeweler's looped it, and he saw it, and it didn't match. So he's like, well, because the other thing is that the Fate Foreseed and the Boneyard Marauder are sequential in the promos.
Sure.
So the one from Monarch, the Team Covenant promo. So I was like, do you have one of these? He goes, yeah. So we like looked it up because if they're sequential, they're printed around the same time, so they should be around the thing and somewhat same stock, right? So there was a huge difference between that and the fake. So I think they got it resolved and everything, and he was able to get real ones. But the fact that there was like
that it even exists, yeah.
And then later on down the line, I found and they have like a YouTube channel. They used to do MTG proxies. And they would do like masterpieces, expeditions, and stuff like that. And like these people, they now do Flesh and Blood stuff. And the issue is they can't do the coal foil because it's really, really hard to mimic. Which is why I feel like coal foils are a great investment because it's so hard to mimic the process that they do. But the rainbow foil, they have got it down to the point where it's like the same areas are foiled out. It's not like. Like those old Magic fake foils where it's like, it looks so fake.
Yeah.
You just like, this. It's not.
I've seen some that are like foiled on the back.
Yeah, it's just like,
But they're like, I understand that there's a world for proxies, and a lot of those really bad Magic fakes are basically proxies. Like you could tell they're fake.
Yeah. I mean, because the
But
first
the fab stuff right now is purely trying to print a 10-cent card to sell for $200.
It's not like old Pokemon where like when you were young and you got those Pokemon cards, it was like you're like, I want a Pikachu, and you get like a Pikachu, and it's like spelled completely wrong, and it looks like
again proxy because you're
like a 5
a
o'clock shadow.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, mind you. If you need like the best way to actually tell for me, is actually do not buy a card in a sleeve. Like the minute you get a card, if you take it out, the first thing I notice is the texture in my hands because I've touched enough.
It's the same way.
But if sometimes in the sleeve, the reflection's hard to see, blur and stuff, and thumbprints or whatever. But if you take it out,
you can feel it.
You can usually tell.
I had one instance where I was wrong about calling something a fake. So apparently, I didn't know this. Tales of Aria Unlimited had a Belgium print run.
Yes.
Very, very small. But there was a Belgium print run.
Again, it's confusing.
Yeah, because so if you get unlimited rainbow foil from like a legendary, for example, like Shock Charmers, which is what the card was.
It's so much darker in
It's
Japanese
darker,
print,
and
right?
it feels like the WTR print. It's like the Monarch we just opened. You saw it was like kind of rough, kind of glossy, thicker. So when you flick it in the foil, you could feel like there's a tension to it. I think there was an engulfing light was the foil for that one. If you want to just go ahead and feel it out, but the Shock Charmers didn't have that same give. It had that old, like a Everfest foil or like a Uprising foil, because those are Belgian prints. So he's meditating it away.
Just trying to get a feel for the different sets.
He doesn't open enough packs to ever get this right. Oh, man. He opens a pack a week, man.
I know, it's in the videos, right?
It's disgusting.
Can't relate.
we're not even... I don't know how we're friends.
This card here on the left, it bends a little easier. Okay. Bends a little bit more pliable. A little bit more plasticky, a little bit more pliable. This is a bit more cardboard, a bit more stiff.
The stock is completely different.
It's different.
I mean, it's probably like, he's going to like, one is dark chocolate.
One is dark.
No, Monarch first dark chocolate.
Smell a
Holy
little
shit.
oakiness.
Holy shit. Monarch first edition, those packs, the dark chocolate smell is so intense. I don't know why they have that. Next time you open up Monarch first,
Smells like dark chocolate.
Oh my god! You crack it open, it's like whoa. The first one I ever
the first
opened.
ed product definitely
They have a different smell.
Yeah.
Even the alpha. I've cracked alpha and it smells like macadamia nuts. I'm just like, damn it, I want a cookie.
Okay, Uprising.
Yeah.
Are you happy with how LSS released it? Maybe print numbers? What's your feelings on the way Uprising's been rolled out?
I'm not a fan of print numbers. I don't want to know.
No. But, but are you a fan? Sorry, not knowing the print numbers, but are you a fan of how much is out there?
Yeah, no,
the
100%.
Waves, how attainable it is.
I think the waves they should know. Let stores know so they know how to plan.
If there's another wave.
Yeah, like hey, like once the one wave goes out, be like, hey, we're anticipating another one around this time.
Yeah,
we don't know how big it is.
That's important.
That way they know how to space it out. Like because otherwise they're like, well, I don't know. So
well, see, if you go crack your 20 cases for singles, but
and
then there's not another wave,
exactly,
you don't get to draft it.
And then you have to outsource it. You have to contact other stores. And it's not good. And then you have to beg your distributor if you're a store, be like, hey, dude, I really.
But I agree. The print numbers is no one's business, man.
I hate this fascination the community has sometimes.
The
like,
entitlement.
Yeah, they're like a crackhead sometimes. Have you seen like those like like, I need a print number, bro. I need a print number. You don't really need it.
All you're telling me is that you fucking think those cases under your bed are worth something.
Yeah.
Like, shut up. No one cares.
No. Yeah.
Oh, people's opinions are like the crazy thing was the Monarch print numbers came out.
Yeah.
Rudy makes a huge video. Channel Fireball dumps stock. Everyone's doing shit. I'm like, 125 boxes was it 125,000?
Yeah, which is like
okay. Why the fuck does that matter? It's all context. If there's 10 million players, it's not enough.
It's not.
If it's 2 players, it's way too many. The number is irrelevant.
No, it's irrelevant.
The number's irrelevant. What you should have been doing if you bought Monarch and you wanted to go to 1K is fucking recruit new players. Because for every new player you recruit, the print number, like technically you have more chance of Monarch hitting 1K if that's what you want by recruiting people than by fucking talking about it.
But that's the problem. Because like when you do this, like I want the 1K or I want the print numbers and this and that. And you know,
it's irrelevant.
It's 420, 69, giggity. Like, you know, it doesn't make a difference. Like no one cares. Because what ends up happening is you're sitting there like, well, one day this box will be worth something. And it's like, I mean, you can just open it and get singles, sell them to someone who needs them, and then they're gonna be like, "Man, this game's awesome." His friend will see it, and they'll go start playing, and then you'll get more and more people. Well, which is exactly like I don't want to keep going back on this, but like that's why I did this because I was like, if I get more people singles, the singles will be worth more money.
Correct.
More people.
It's not bloody rocket science, is it?
I understand. Like Saint on Fabled Hunters will do like the gas liquid solid. Like the minute you open a box, you can't go backwards. That's why sealed product will appreciate. Like Alpha will appreciate, but Alpha boxes will appreciate quicker than a heart will, right?
Yeah,
technically. But what people miss is have that conversation about Magic where 99.9999% of Alpha has been opened because no one thought it was worth it. Like the minute you're artificially doing it, like this is where I have a fundamental disagreement with Rudy. Although I consider him a friend now, I think he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Because what he's doing to himself, and the only reason he can do it is he's wealthy, is he's hoarding product. But because he's hoarding it and telling people to hoard it, none of them will ever make money. You cannot put that back on the market. You can't go, here's my 10 pallets of Modern Masters.
No,
and
crash.
No one can buy it. So
well, no one can buy it, and then the other
it's not like the
when
stock market.
It goes.
It's not like the stock market. But if you don't have an attrition rate, and the market is the attrition rate, not you.
Exactly.
Like either your mass box opening or the market is like the only way you're smart for holding a sealed alpha box if you're the only one or you're one of very few, and everyone wants to draft it, but you have self control.
Exactly.
But in Fab, people started by hoarding alpha, which is why the price has crashed. Do you understand what I mean?
No, 100%.
It's artificially gone up, and now people are realizing, oh wait, there's like 200 sealed cases still. Like everyone has a sealed case.
No, 100%. Because that's what happened. I call it the three impacts. Is what I call it. I watch a lot of anime, and there's an anime called Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's about impacts and stuff like that. So the first impact was when they said they're going to partner with CFB. When they partnered with CFB, prices shot up. It went from about like $250 for a tunic cold foil to $500, $600. Hearts went from about $400 to about $1,000. Then the second impact, we're going to be on TCG Player. Everything doubled again. The third impact was when they announced Unlimited. They gave us the print numbers roughly of Alpha, and all the collectors, the big end whales, bought up all the Alpha and Arc. Once that happened, shit hit the fan. $3,000 Skullcast, $5,000 tunics. I remember there was a post, and I still laugh to this day. This guy's like, I'll trade my heart for a brand new Tesla. And I'm like, there's no way. And then 10 minutes later, deal done. And I was like, that didn't happen.
Yeah, see, this is part of me where I get skeptical.
I know 100% there's proof of this shit being faked.
Yeah,
this $50,000 heart sale has never been proven.
That's right. Yeah. Even these, I get very skeptical about that. I think, Bronson made a big shout out. Love Bronson. Oh, yeah. He did a great video about that, like the history of Fab. And I commented in that video, and I'm like, I would love... Because it's such an outlier what happened in the first 3 years of Fab.
Oh, yeah.
It's never happened in any other game.
Make like a mini doc.
Yes,
correct.
But
go interview like...
To be dramatic.
No, I'm serious.
No,
it'd be so good.
It'd be super dramatic. And that's when it happened.
But the reason is I said in the comment...
Impact 3.
I said it can't be done now. Not for another 5 years. Because I really feel that there were bad actors. There were some nefarious things going on with these single prices. And the wounds is too fresh. And I think it's going to take 5 years before you really hear what happened. Because I feel that a lot of it was bullshit.
Look, I know
a lot of these prices were bullshit.
No, but I have a fact you definitely don't know.
Okay.
I know for a fact LSS employees, someone was fired because they put out the word to their friends, which in New Zealand and Australia, there's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Everyone's very tight-knit. Yeah. They told their friends to go scalp it. They're like, we're about to announce that this is out of print. Like, I know that happened. I know there's people, like friends, I consider friends, that when this happened, went and bought out crew. You can already, the names when I say it. Yeah. They bought out crew, they bought out alpha.
I know.
And they've paid for their houses.
I think I know.
That's insider trading bullshit. Like, it happened. Yeah. Now, it's not because it's not stocks. But here's the thing.
They can't get you on it, legalese-wise.
Yeah, but okay. Here's what I think.
Yeah.
I think that big boom and bust shit hurt the game as a playable game because how many people didn't play Fab because they're like, that's a collector's game. My first impression of the game when I walked into a store
Was that?
The staff in the store were like, "Oh, that's only for collectors. Like, it's gonna crash. No one plays it."
I mean, that's kind of what's going on with
it's
that
this shit.
sorcery thing,
People's
too.
greed. Sorcery. I sold my kit for triple.
Yeah, I saw your video.
Triple.
That's exactly what's going on.
Morons. Morons are running that company. They emailed me. Like, imagine that. You've ignored my messages for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then I make a video. I'm a nobody, man. Like, I don't care. People watching this think I'm nobody. I have 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. I open packs. I'm nobody.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is the owner of a $4 million company, at least because that's the Kickstarter, emailing me with an apology? Why? You're a moron. You should not care. If you're doing everything by the book, you'd be like, "Oh, we don't care." Like,
you're gonna have people.
What do you care? What do you care? Why are you emailing me an apology?
Everybody.
By the way, they offered to send me test packs. You know what test packs are worth?
A lot.
Yeah, I said no because immediately I'm like, "Oh, this sounds like when Louis offered me Kickstarter boxes if I talked about MetaZoo." He said, Mike will send you Kickstarter boxes. I'm like, "Aren't they like 20 grand?" He's like, "Yeah, but if you support him, he'll look after you." I'm like, "I'm not getting bribed, dickhead. Like, I say what I think."
That sounds like The Godfather. Like,
Dude, that's literally when Rudy and I went, like, I had an interview with him. Remember?
Yeah.
And then hung up, and he immediately went, like, all Jehovah's Witness on me. Like,
have you
trying
met
to sell.
have you met our Lord and
No,
Savior?
I'm not even exaggerating. It went, because I'm, like, from a Baptist cult background. Sorry, Americans who are Baptist, but I was in a cult for sure. Like, I immediately got those, like, that hair on the back of my neck. What are you selling me right now? MetaZoo? Dude, we just talked about Fab. Why the fuck are we talking about Meta? And why off camera?
Because
why are you offering me, like, if it's a good, here's the point.
Yeah.
If it's a good game, why are you offering me free product?
It
like,
doesn't make sense.
What's the bribe for?
Exactly. No, the other thing is it has a sports card fallacy. This is a
MetaZoo
concept-
or
no, Fab did too
Sure,
in a bit.
yeah, sure.
So the sports card fallacy is that, and it works with the sealed product thing, is that I can only buy this thing to stare at it, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do with the sports card?
Exactly.
I'm going to
Yeah,
buy
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'm going to stare at it.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with medicine? No one plays it. No one does anything with it.
Well, they tried.
I mean, you can try and fail, but I mean, people used to play with sports cards too. Like, how many home runs did he have? How many assists did he have in that season? 24.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
win.
they make up games.
They make
yeah.
up games, right? I mean, is it successful?
Yeah.
I mean, is it good? I mean, you know.
Yeah, but at least the
But-
sports world is backed by multi-billion-dollar advertising
I
campaigns.
mean,
do you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, it has a.
I mean, that's
it
what
has
that's
legs.
what MetaZoo was trying to do, right?
Yeah,
With
but-
eBay and Steve Aoki and this and that, and you know, like if you buy our potato salad recipe, you'll get a free MetaZoo promo with the pin and this and that. Like, it's just ridiculous stuff.
yeah.
And I'm just like. At some point, you seem like you sold out the soul of your game, because I was like, you're trying to make a game. You said it was your passion project. Now you're like selling it to the highest bidder every single day.
And apparently the new sets are dumped as fire, totally mappable.
That's the creepy part about it. And with MetaZoo, and this is why I got told about it, because I used to talk to Mitch a lot. Mitch went into MetaZoo, he's a friend of Louis as well. And
Bad move, Mitch.
no, he's a good guy.
I'm sure he is.
No, it's a bad move though.
Bad move.
Yeah. It is what it is. But the biggest thing that happened was what's it called? The box prices for everything are like tanking. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, you know, the boxes are doing well, and you can there people are getting them and buying them, and there's these collector cards in them, and like I'm like, how much is MSRP? $144.99. I'm like, okay. How much are they selling for on TCG? $64.95. I'm like,
Yeah.
how much are stores paying for them? Like $90. I'm like, oh, alrighty then.
So I wish
Okay,
I
that's
had.
dead game.
Yeah,
That's dead game territory.
That's 3 sets in a row.
Yeah, yeah.
That is actually all the hallmarks of a game that's about
I
to
wish
die.
I had the economical jargon to explain this, and hopefully someone will educate me.
Yeah.
But I know I'm right. I just don't know how to verbalize it.
Speak to me.
Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon.
Yeah.
For the longest time,
Yeah.
the reason those IPs are so big, the packs were always like the company made money off the booster packs. Full stop.
Yeah.
They printed the packs cost $1. They sell them for $6. You and your friends decide on the other values.
Yes.
The companies would not get fucking involved.
Exactly.
Anytime they ever got involved, whether it was overprinting, underprinting, whatever it is, trying to manipulate markets, when staff tried to sell stuff,
It's when it gets
big
bad.
problems, right?
Yeah.
But as long as your business model is like A, B, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean,
Like,
that's why
you,
Magic's...
you are doing. You're creating the IP, then you're printing it, and then you're distributing it, and then you go, oh, leave
done.
it.
Yeah.
We start on the
It's
next
your
one.
turn. It's your
Like,
turn. Yeah.
James White gets my full support for this reason.
Yeah.
I asked him, what does he think about this $1,000 Magic booster pack, $250 Magic pack?
Yeah.
Where it's like a collectible that costs the same as a normal pack, but they are artificially inflating its collectability, not letting the market decide what it's
and they're
actually
not cards,
worth, right?
they're proxies.
He said,
too, yeah.
sure, but that was the point. Like, it's just a collectible.
Yeah.
And he said, we only make money from selling packs. So what we want to do is have 4 sets a year.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do.
but
His way to grow the company
is to have more
is
sets.
not to go, hey guys, we're reprinting white border alpha, so you can get a code for a heart, but it's gonna be white. Like, that's not how they're thinking to make money.
I mean,
even though that would be $1,000 booster box to most people,
Yeah.
they purely want to sell $6 packs, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Again and again and again, and make a game that makes the packs sell and draft so that the packs, there's an attrition rate on the boxes.
Exactly.
Here's where people are completely wrong about this shit. Rudy's completely wrong about this shit. Rudy will never go broke, but you can't be Rudy. Like, the guy comes from, like, his parents are successful business people. I don't know, like, whether they were
He used
wealthy.
to work on Wall Street too.
But the reason Rudy's wrong, and everyone that has a hoard of fucking shit in their closet, everyone, there's a lot of them, right? The only reason alpha magic is kids were scraping Black Lotuses on the pavement. People opened those packs that were worth nothing. They were, like, cheap. Yeah. And then and Alpha Flesh and Blood has a similar story where people were drafting the shit out of it, ordering a case a week. Then one day they ordered and the distributor said, oh no, it's run out and we're never getting more.
Yeah.
It was a surprise.
I mean, it's the same thing with Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Yes.
Like, how many Blue Eyes White Dragons hit the
but that's
dirt?
what I'm saying.
How many Charizards were sit there and shuffled?
But that's my point.
Yeah.
Crypto's the same, and I know a little bit about that.
Yeah.
You are not making money on crypto anymore the way it happened in the gold rush era. People, like, when the people that made money fucking bought pizzas for $47 million. Do you understand? You are not that guy.
Story, yeah.
You are not that guy. You don't have the balls to be that guy. I was one of those people much, much later than that.
Yeah.
That was spending $80 on electricity a month to farm $20 a Bitcoin a month.
Yeah,
I was
GPOs,
a moron, Hemal. Like, economically, I was a moron.
Yeah.
Like, there's no good business sense in doing what I did.
Yeah.
None of these people had sense. They had passion and they believed in something. Yeah. But most of the Bitcoin billionaires in the world did not scalp the shit.
No.
They were tech nerds.
Yeah.
They loved it.
They started with it.
Most of the people that made real money in fab would, like Yazi, they were playing the game. They're nerds. They're card nerds. Like, you are not that guy. No. If you're listening to Rudy going, I'm going to buy a pallet of stock and sit on it. Mate, you and 100 other people did that, which means none of you can make money.
Because you'll have all the supply.
The only way you will make money is the way, like, it's like a pyramid scheme thing. It's like, you need everyone else to sell before you for you to make money.
And what did you say once you find out about the scheme?
It's too late.
It's too late.
It's too late, yeah.
Dude, any crypto you hear about on Reddit, it's too late. I mean, the only way you're going to make
Monarch,
money,
in a sense, was a pyramid scheme.
100%.
Because when they first started pre-sales, they were selling the boxes for $150 each, $600 a case.
I know.
Which, I guess, justifiable. $600 a case is like whatever. MSRP at the time was like $100, right? It was like 99 or 90 or whatever it is. So it's like an extra $50. It's high in demand, this and that. Sure. 800, 1,000, 1,200, 1,600, 2,000. The highest I saw was 2,500 for a case.
And what was the most you ever paid for a Monarch?
I paid 2,000 for one. Why? Because I was like, FOMO. I mean, FOMO is it's a bitch.
Yeah, but dude, to blame LSS, this is like all that.
No, it's not that.
No, but some people
exactly.
did.
No.
Even Rudy, like, again, love the guy, but his video saying channel Fireball and print run numbers, like, man, no one's entitled to that information.
No, but see, the thing is, the other part that I don't like about the print run numbers part is that, to like a Timmy, right? They don't know what a print run number is. They're just going to walk in the store and be like, oh, that box looks cool. What is that? Is that the new game, the new set? How much is it? And then once you hear, oh, that box is $800, they're going to be like,
yeah, no.
But that's the MTG 30 reaction, right? Because they're like, how much is that? Oh, it's an anniversary set. It has all those old cards. How much is it? Oh, it's $250 a pack. What? It's $250 a pack.
You can I play with the cards? No.
Oh, okay. Is it like, are the cards inside? Yeah, they're valuable. Are they real? No. but why is it $1,000? Because we said, Yeah. But I mean, that's also why I think Magic has taken a hit these past couple of years.
I have a hotter take than that. I legitimately my gut feeling,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty accurate with these things, but time will tell.
Sure.
This was the death of Magic. Like, if there's going to be a death, if you're going to see it losing players quicker than it grows, and the next 10 years, what it'll look like, this was it.
Yeah, like the linchpin.
This moment,
Like the linchpin.
you're selling fake cards for your big anniversary.
Official. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
No.
Still can't play them in a tournament.
Exactly.
And there's still, the fact is, no matter what you think about it, the community is divided. That's what kills the game.
Yeah.
You just, there was already a chasm, and then you go, like, there's a chasm between these players and like commander players versus pine. Like, there's already like fragmented.
Yeah.
And now, and online versus real life.
Yeah.
And competitive is online, and all the old school competitive players are thinking about fab because they can turn up and shuffle cards in person. And then you're going, oh, and by the way, we're going to artificially inflate a 10-cent card to like, literally those packs cannot cost a cent more than a normal pack.
A lot of people are already jumping ship. Like Tariq Patel, Magic Pro.
But
Michael Hamilton,
it's more
Magic
than,
Pro.
I think this is more than the normal attrition we've been seeing. Like, dude, Fab
No.
is full of
It's
old
been a
Magic
jumping off
players.
point. So the other thing was that they released a trailer that they debuted at MTG 30, which was their big anniversary thing, and over there they debuted this trailer with a couple of their like high end personalities, and it was basically like a product description reading of the MTG 30 set. Featured Brian Kibler and Olivia Gomez. I think that's how her name is. And then
She's here, right? She's
she's one of the official cosplayers. So
They sent her the best spoiler, man. What the
I
fuck?
know, it was so good.
Anyway.
Soraya, I think
Yeah.
how you pronounce it. It's so pretty. I wanted to do Prism. But so it's a 4-minute video of them just reading the product description of the MTG 30 packs. The whole comment section's like, I don't think you've ever united the Magic player base against you at any one point in the history of this game that you have right now.
Yeah.
And then when you go and you look at the other opposite end, which would be like the fab announcement of like Regicide, when they revealed Assassin as a class.
How good.
That was so good. And then they just like look at it and everyone is like, oh my God. Like, it's like they're just losing their minds, and they're just like, wow, we have to, like, this is amazing. And like, you can see the dichotomy there when they're just like, these people hate their guts at this point, and then these people are like, James White, please, you're our Lord and Savior.
But it's like Stockholm Syndrome. It's like you've spent 20 years playing Magic, 30 years some people playing Magic, collecting Magic. It's very hard to leave. So your hatred is self-hatred. You're like, all this money and time, and this company's disrespecting me again. Yeah. And this is the 52nd secret lair this year. And it's
my analogy.
Like,
I akin it to abusive relationship.
Yeah, it's Stockholm Syndrome.
With
it's
a significant other.
You're falling in love with your captor.
Yeah,
yes, honey. I'll purchase it, honey.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, honey.
The poor girl gets beat on.
Yeah.
Cops it. And then the guy's, I'm so sorry, come back. And she comes back and cops it again.
This feels like the moment where more people have realized than before. Like, people have realized, but this is like really on the nose. It's
because
like
they're dangling
and the professor said it to me the best way. He's like, it's 60 fake cards for $1,000. And he repeated like 10 times in his last video. He's like, 60 fake cards. Like,
for $1,000.
For $1,000. Like, and literally you can actually buy alpha dual lands or beta. Like, you can actually buy real.
You can buy 2 real dual
You can
lands
buy real, like, cards that
$1,000.
probably appreciate. This thing might just crash. Like, the second the singles in this set.
Dude, that's the other thing, because I was always confused about it, because I played Magic for a while before I got into Flesh and Blood. I actually sold my Magic collection to fund my Flesh and Blood. But I think this violates their whole reserve list thing that they said it was. Because they said in spirit.
Yeah, you're a lawyer.
Yeah.
No, but it's not even that. There's literally
it's
like
not,
posts by employees of Wizards
so the legal,
saying it'll never happen.
The legalese thing is promissory estoppel, right? Where it's
What was? Sorry, say that again.
Promissory estoppel, which is like, if they make a promise that they won't do it, it's basically binding. It's like a legal agreement. Like
so that was that actually really?
It's a concept of law.
Yeah, but
is that in Australia? Can you get away with that shit in Australia?
What are you going to do?
That
Class
term?
action lawsuit against Hasbro? Good luck.
You're going against Behemoth. It's like David versus Goliath.
And to actually unite, like, you'd need a lot of individual players.
I mean, most of the wealthier base that would get irritated by this have money. Like, most of the people with duels, powers, and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
They're wealthy.
But also, you're killing your own game.
Exactly.
That's it's Stockholm Syndrome. Like, are you really going to sue Hasbro?
It's like
and then cost them, let's say, it's a $200 million lawsuit and you win.
Yeah.
And then you know what happens to Hasbro.
It's like that Japanese thing. Seppuku. They're like, they're going to take the sword and kill themselves. Like, it's like, why would you do it? Like,
the only like, and what people are doing is they're selling collections.
Yeah.
Like, we had a couple of local players just on the dot. They came into an armory once, played with us once, sold their entire collection.
No, 100%.
Because they were already looking for something new.
I have a friend who's a PTQ grinder. They call them RCQs now in Magic.
Yep.
I got him to play Blitz decks. I gave him a Lexi deck. He's like, oh, I like Lexi. He played it once. He's like, build me the deck. Sold his Magic collection. He's qualified for the Pro Tour and everything. And he goes, I don't want to go.
Wow.
I don't want to go. And I'm like, why? He goes, this game seems fun. I haven't had fun playing Magic in a long time.
Yeah.
I was like, why? He's like, because I used to play Modern. I was like, okay. And he goes, it just gets power crept every single year.
Yeah.
And but that's the other problem with Fab. Sometimes you can say it. It's the power creep at times in Fab. It's apparent, right? Like for example, coming into Monarch, Chain and Prism. They took the spot. They became really good heroes. And then some of the older heroes got forgotten. Next set was what? Tales of Aria. We had Briar.
Same.
And Oldham. Same thing. Lexi was there. Lexi was good, but it wasn't Briar Oldham, right? Next set. Fi. Right? Starvo. All those heroes. Like there's every set there seems to be a new hero that comes out.
But at least they have a system to manage that.
They have a system to manage it, which is the good part. So it self-rotates out. But at some point you have to also, like this is my one nick on LSS, is that Classic Constructed is not an eternal format.
No, it's not.
It rotates.
It rotates, yes.
Living Legend format will be an eternal format.
Correct. Exactly.
But that's the only problem. So like at some points when I like explain the concept,
I don't think that's a problem though.
It's not a problem, but I would just say like
I think it's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid, but it's hard to sell someone on it when I explain the concept and they go, "Oh, that rotates." Like I explained to Magic, like the friend that I told you about that just bought the Lexi deck, and he goes, "I was like, look." He goes, "What happens to the heroes? Do they get banned?" I was like, "Well, they can," but he goes, "How do they get banned?" I was like, "They have to win a bunch of tournaments. And once they hit 1,000 points in tournament wins, they get banned." He goes, "Oh, so it rotates." I was like,
just to clarify though, and this is all on LSS for not communicating it enough. It doesn't, because they've confirmed it now. Like I hadn't heard it this way.
Yeah.
The second something LLs, they will re-release it as soon as they can, and right now it'd be in under a year.
Yeah.
Because they don't want it to rotate.
But that's
But it's not the same hero though.
No. But your deck, okay, but basically what's happening is your deck functions under a new archetype. Like which actually means there's
not the specializations.
That's why I called it a hybrid.
Well, if they call
but Paul,
it,
that's why I called it a hybrid.
No, but if they call
hybrid.
but if they call it the same,
yes,
hero
if
name,
it's
but
Prism Star of the show, then you can run all the Prism specialization, right?
Yeah.
But no, but irrelevant, whichever they do, it's a hybrid. So one part of the deck gets banned, and gets replaced, which means it is an eternal format, but the hero is not. Yeah. So that's like if you have to explain it to someone.
Well, what about their weapon?
Paul, but that's what we're saying. It's hybrid. The weapon is gone with the hero.
Yeah.
It's part. So there's a Living Legend list has a weapon,
but the weapon doesn't come back when the new hero gets reprinted.
100% not.
Yeah, like maybe with new Prism.
But
she
also,
gets Luminaris,
we do get Blitz and CC. So if you're like a simp,
Yeah.
You can still play whatever hero you want.
Yeah.
Like UPF, there's no bans, and then you have the ability to play
LL once Briar goes.
And it's so far unlikely the adult, like, seems like adult heroes at LL, they're like Blitz counterparts, not as strong. Like, the formats are so different that it's unlikely they're like, you know what I mean?
Viz went first because it was just so good.
Yeah.
But
in CC it's not.
Yeah,
in CC it's more manageable.
Yeah.
And it's vice versa. Like, Oldham in CC is so good. Oldham in Blitz can be beaten much more often.
It's much easier, especially now with like Crown God and stuff like that.
I think they're doing a good job. Is it perfect? No. But if you give them the benefit of the doubt that half of this stuff happened during COVID, where they couldn't recruit new testers and
but that's why I feel like they should do pre-cods. Like I understand their thing against it, but like it's easier for them instead of sitting here and just putting it into an actual like draft product.
They could just release a new chain.
Just release a pre-cod.
Like, no, I love that idea.
You get the chain. You get the weapon, and it's like $10. It comes in a Blitz deck for all weekend.
I love it.
Like,
A
little small packet.
Yeah, and like it's young hero, but on the back it's the adult, so you just put that in your deck, and then eventually the set will have a cold foil version or an armory kit as a cold. You know what I mean?
And you could reprint some of the cards.
Dude, I'm all for that.
In like common, so it's easier for them to get. So they just buy that Blitz
Hemal,
deck.
They could just as easily print the promos like they did with the Errata Briar. They could literally go, "We want a new Prism. But here's 1 million promos of it. Send them to every shop." They're free armory promos. Like, they can. It's not hard to just go.
Yeah, it's easier for a customer. I have a marketing background. I have a master's in marketing and a marketing degree as well. So it's easier for a customer to realize that a new thing exists if there's a product or an item like that they could view like a skew basically.
Yeah.
Because if they're willing to see like, oh, this is a thing that I can purchase and this I can buy versus this is something I can get for free and this is something I can use.
Yes.
It's different. So like an Armory promo, that's why a lot of Armory promos are cards that are in the set.
Yes.
Because they could be like, oh, it's here, but I can get a nicer version here.
Yes.
But they know where to go to purchase it. Because if you get like a free Briar given, like, the Briar is different because it's errata, but like, you know that, oh, Briar's from this set, so if I want this, I go there. But if you get the new Prism there, you're just like, well, where's this from? Like, this is not, I don't see this in any of the sets, so where do I get this? And it creates confusion.
I'm saying they can always do that if, like, Stava LL'd so quick, they could have just turned around so that those decks don't die and just print a new Stava that says...
Yeah, it would have been easier for them.
You have to reveal 3 cards instead of, say, it's the L...
instead of using the pulses.
Because that alone might have... Or you can only pick one mode. Go again, or +2, or dominate. Like they could immediately go, here's a weaker version.
I think that's what broke him, honestly, that he gets all 3. If he would have got...
Dude, I literally, like, had an hour-long conversation about this with James. I'm like, how the fuck did you guys go from... heroes like Dory, where inherently there's a negative and a positive in the text, to heroes like Briar going, do what you want to do. Like, it's like Dory saying, if you swing twice, get a counter, get going. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's dumb.
Like, create a quicken. Like, what do you mean? They made heroes with, like Stavo, and he did say it. He's like, well, the negative is you have to build janky cards in the deck. I'm like, but it's too strong. It doesn't matter. Like, you can play, like, it doesn't matter. If the hero says...
An awakening.
We've got a. It's an hour 45. There's some people waiting.
Told you, man, it flies.
We could talk for hours. This has been fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
And we will. I think we got banquet tonight.
Oh yeah, we got a whole weekend.
Can't wait.
Before we end,
Sure.
hot take for Worlds. Whether it's
who
a
do you
product
think-
release, a spoiler, someone winning, like, what is your hot take for Worlds?
I think Dory top 8's Worlds.
Okay, shit, we need to hear names after this.
I think the calling goes
To me, I'm winning the calling on Dory.
I think John Warden wins the calling.
Thank you.
I think there's gonna be a way for people to get Dynasty early.
I think so. Yeah. Wait. You're with a vendor.
Yes.
Blink twice if you know that we can get Dynasty. Damn it. He didn't blink. I've been saying this for weeks. I'm going, it's too close.
No, I'm pretty
That
sure.
hopefully they're giving away prize packs or...
So there's either judges get them. There's only 3 ways I can think of. Either judges get them. They do like a side event. That's a chaos draft. Or they're just like...
Or
hey.
they just go, guys, by the way, there's Dynasty.
Yeah, like, oh no, like they just go at the door and hand everybody 1 pack.
So I said that I
As
hope
you
I
walk
get
in.
3
If
packs
you
in
just
my...
get 1 pack.
In your goodie bag. Like, why not? It's Worlds. By the way, I'm fairly certain we will all get our hands on Dynasty this weekend.
Yeah,
Because
I can see it.
it's a week before launch. It's Worlds.
Yeah.
There's a Dynasty case being opened. They keep saying there's big announcements. There's a collector item we haven't heard of. Maybe it's the playmat, but I think James was hinting at something like a collectible item we can buy.
Probably a card.
Yeah, but why not have packs, at least at the prize wall? Do you know what I mean? Like, why not?
It's interesting.
Because, by the way, the stock's been in the country for 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
aware of that.
I have the shipping channel.
Yeah.
Second tracking.
Yeah. So
There's ways, man.
like it makes sense because also it's good to go. Well, if you didn't come to Worlds, you miss out because that's the whole point. So people come to events.
Yeah,
Like the
I mean,
Sydney
that's what they
Calling
wanted to do.
was 4 weeks before Uprising. We were opening packs. I bought all the judge boxes and cracked them.
That's what I was doing too.
Yeah.
Because I was at Vegas. That was the American equivalent. I just went up to judges like, hey.
Do you
Let's sell
think
your
the
presents.
winner of Worlds is someone we know their name yet or not?
Yeah, I think the pool of players is so small, and the talent and the skill level is so high that it's going to be a known name. Maybe not like a repeated winner or like something like that, but I feel like it's someone that we've seen either make deck profiles, top RTNs, battle hardens, whatever, and they're like, their names are somewhere.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be difficult for like Nancy Joe to
nobody.
come out of nowhere.
I don't know. I have a feeling Southeast Asians are going to come to represent.
Oh, 100%.
I think we might see Taiwanese, Hong Kong, Singaporean pushing
Singapore-
I
to
don't
the top
think
eight.
this is going to look like Jersey. I don't think we're going to have 7 Europeans
I
in
think a
top eight.
Singaporean guy wins it. One of my good friends, he's one of the top players in Singapore. He's the first Stats and XP guy over there in Singapore. I think he has a good chance to win it.
Can I tell you why specifically too?
Why?
Fab still rewards knowing your deck, but also when you come out of a meta that's not, especially right now, the US is the biggest market.
Yeah.
Even in Australia, we go, they haven't solved that meta. Like they're all playing Stavo, but like you guys in US picked up Prism later than our like region did.
Yeah,
doesn't mean we're better players.
I mean, that's why Tyler got Vegas.
But when the smaller the player pool, usually that like the higher the skill level in the pool. Like, do you know what I mean? We don't have as many casuals as the US. I think you'll see someone like from Taiwan is in top 8 that we've never heard of. It's because no one's used to playing against their deck. Do you understand what I mean?
No, 100%.
Like if you'll see some spice, like the guy that won with Dash.
Yeah.
Playing Talishar, like people go, Talishar is not the good. It's like, dude, he won a calling.
No, it's the same thing because so.
But you hadn't prepared against Talishar, and you might have misplayed, and that's all it takes.
It was the same thing with the Dash deck from U.S. Nationals, the Turtle Dash, where it's just like a bunch of deep reacts, and all they did was they played a bunch of blues, so you could induction chamber, pistol like 4 times.
Yes, yeah.
Right. It was just that was the whole thing. I'm just gonna fatigue the fatigue decks, and it worked. And then one of the guys
especially if your professional testing team that you've spent the last 3 months testing with never bothered to test into Dory, and then you are a good Dory player, you have such an advantage, man.
That, and I think, going back on maybe a little bit on what I said, I think some random person can win it because the more you test in a confined group, the better you get. Like, I sell cards mostly. Yeah. My local group that I play with are very good. We had the first 1000 XP guy in America. He's in Houston, so we have a lot of the teams and like David Max in Texas, Brody's from Texas, Brendan Patrick's in Texas. So there's a lot of us that are like good in Texas. So when we go to Texas events, we're pretty good. So just testing in that area, and I barely play. I play like once a week at the local armory at my closest store. I got decent enough to top 8 a ProQuest with that loaded of a field. So imagine someone that plays more consistently.
Yeah.
That has more time and is able to do it, how much they're able to raise their own skill cap and skill level. And I think maybe that way we could get like some random person who qualified, or
anything can happen. Also, you've got a format that some of these pros have never played.
Yes.
Like Blitz. What is Blitz Balatze? Will decide the winner of Worlds.
Balatze? Never heard of her.
It's very spicy that's the last 5 rounds. They're the ones I want to watch the most. I just want to see someone get quad inting by Reinhardt turn 1 and go, ha! Oh, wait, Pablo Pintor just loses turn 0 to Reinhardt.
That's
doesn't matter how good you are.
That's how I got second at a skirmish. I played against a Kano, and I just went, I think I did 28 damage. Yeah, it was a hard cross-out was legal. It was too much. I went like beat down Sand Sketch, discard Beast Within, hit, and then I got another Beast Within off the Sand Sketch, and then I had 2 action points, and I swung Manimal with a Blood Rush Mellow, and then the Hardened Cross-Trap Swing Bank. I'm like,
it's disgusting.
25. Intimidate all the cards.
Just the way it's meant to be played.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Hemal.
It's been a pleasure, man.
Can't wait to hang out with you this weekend.
Thanks for spending time
Ronnie,
with us,
thanks
man.
for being in the background, man.
Yeah, big shout out. Southern Georgia's finest. Ronnie Martin.
All right, guys, we're going to sign off. See you on the next one.
Yes.